Hey people, it's me. I think it's about time I made an intro, so here goes. On my channel, I talk about being black and managing mental health, so I'm just going to walk you through my personal journey so you can fully understand my passion. I've been like this ever since I can remember. Sometimes I'm vocal, sometimes I'm not. One of my high school teachers finally noticed some potential underneath it all and decided to help me hone into it. The only problem is, men started seeing it too. Insert ex-husbands. We were great initially. He was providing. I started getting more attention. He didn't handle it well. I had a little fun modeling in college. But after studying, I wanted us to have fun. College parties were supposed to be for networking and having fun. But those dudes in the back right there, yep, he wanted them gone. So I'm not the registrar, so I didn't know what he wanted me to do about it. I read some books or whatever. Figured out that maybe womanhood is the answer. I told myself I'd give it a shot. I cooked other things. Then I cut my hair short for transformative purposes. Fought off thoughts, wished people would, and I was very proud of myself. Until he felt like this was a problem. We disagreed, so I had to remind him what vowels are for.
I didn't say sell me. I said give me.
Anyway, I went to hang out with the girls, get back to the boss me we all know and love, question myself. Then I got into some musical endeavors. I had a little trouble finding my niche, but the fast life got boring, so okay, so what next? Just going through the motions, just being there, but over it. Insert baby daddy. I was cynical, but I went for it. Why not? Yeah, then I regretted it. Started my natural hair and nail journey. Now I'm just out here trying to avoid poverty, giving advice, saving money, devoting my time to being black, elevating my career, missing my bestie, eating right now, arguing with certain chicks, trying to make this lady happy so I can glow again. To be continued.
Well, welcome everybody. I really appreciate everybody being in the chat. Shout out to Robotic for sharing the stream. I really appreciate all of the support, the cash apps, the sharing the stream, the word of mouth, everything that, all the new stuff, everything that's been making this channel possible. So thank y'all so much. We have Rob here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, girl?
It's spring, so trying to clean up, trying to throw out everything I don't need, a whole lot of stuff. It's just, I'm busy, it's a lot, but it's, I know that it's gonna be good in the end. I got to tell myself that.
Girl, that's something I tell myself every day. I'm like, nope, keep grinding because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Right, right. Okay, I'm thankful everybody's coming in. So today what we're going to talk about is, of course, like, so this is the thing that Robbie and I are doing every other weekend, the state of Black community. I want y'all to see some stuff that y'all supposed to be paying attention to. What should you get from it? What's your opinion on it? Like, if we had to vote, right? If this was a council for us to say what we want out of Black culture, what would we say, right? And the people who not here, they don't get a vote because they're not here. Oh well. Tell them to sub and to the channel and come through one of the chats. So, okay, with that being said, right, we are going to be talking about the current events in the U.S., current events in the world, and then also the overall topic I want us to be thinking about today is assimilation, which means joining in and being blended and absorbed by the majority culture, versus acculturation, where we retain our own unique identifiers, but we take a little bit from their culture, they take a little bit from our culture. It's still two separate cultures, but they both give and take, and they both change a little bit. Right, so one we're being completely absorbed, the other one we might have a few changes, things we want to incorporate. We take the best out of what we are interacting with, we understand and respectfully decline other parts of it. So what's your view on that, first of all, Robbie?
Honestly, it's really hard for us to maintain our culture because our culture is consistently vilified.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big part of it. How do you maintain a culture when your culture is put out here as y'all? Sorry, my children.
No, that's okay. It is Sunday, it's the weekend, so they having a lot of fun.
Yes, but when you're told that your culture is a murderer, or your culture
Mm-hmm.
are a bunch of thieves, or just, you know what I'm saying, strippers and good
Right.
for WAP, like, we got a long way. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we do. And so when we get to that subject, we're going to be talking about what's attainable, what can we reach. We're going to talk about what's sustainable, what can we reach and keep, and then what is the better choice for us. We reach it, we keep it, and it serves us well. So here's my take on it, right? So our culture being completely vilified all of the time, that's, you know what, I would expect that from outside. The problem that strikes me is when we start to vilify it ourselves. For every action, there's a good way it could be used and there's a bad way it could be used. What if our culture was full of strippers? Well, there's a respectful way to do that, but that's not who we are truly. So we're getting the identity from somebody that wants to absorb our culture. So therefore, that's the first step, getting you to see that your culture is not getting you to see your culture as something that's not good, not helpful, and that you're being done a favor by being absorbed into something that's better, right? That's somebody telling you what you consider to be better. Second of all, that's not our culture. It's not who we truly actually are. It's what's being promoted so that we can vote for assimilation. So I want us to get to the point of what we actually consider to be Black culture. There are Black people who do things when they're pushed against the wall, or either because they don't know any better, but I don't think that just defines us. That's what we're doing right now. That's our response to a situation. It's not necessarily who we are at our core.
Yeah, that's definitely not who we are at the core. But I'm saying, just like the whole
Yeah.
cultural reference, like they disrespect our
Oh yeah,
people.
a lot. But we let them.
Well,
and
I
I'm
can't.
not saying that we need to have an all out war or whatever. It's just, where is everybody's conflict resolution skills? You know what to do, what happens when you're talking to somebody that you disagree with. The question is, do we actually disagree? Have we bought into it? Do we believe that that's truly what our culture is?
Uh, I think there's some of us that's not what the culture is, but I do
Hmm.
think that the unrelenting majority
Yeah,
act like that. Like,
exactly. So that's why we're going to be talking about that later on. First, let's talk about what's been happening lately. What is it that we see? So, like, domestic. Um, One of the things, I don't know how true it is. Have you heard this story? Like, there's a rapper that's gonna be automated. It's not a person, it's an AI robot that is a rapper. They've made an Instagram page for this thing, and they're really putting together like a CD, and putting him out there as if he is a rapper. Have you heard about this? Do you think this is real? Because when I saw it, I was like, I gotta see if it. Am I the only one seeing this? I'm gonna try to find it while you talk about your opinion of this.
Well,
Stop laughing, Robbie.
I
Robbie, this is
can't.
all of this. This affects all of us. Stop laughing. Okay, we gotta be serious now. We gotta be
All right.
serious. Okay, so AI
Y'all
rapper.
y'all knew what it was gonna be. I mean, they came out with the AI Michael Jackson. Who else they
Mm.
came out with? They gave y'all full performances with.
Here's my thing. This ain't even a hologram. This is a real like 3D robot though. Like they're literally doing. I found a video and look, girl. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen real quick. So have you seen this before I talk about it?
Let me see.
Because I haven't shared the screen yet. Hold on, I'm gonna share it. Chrome tab. Okay, so where's the? Okay, here we go. The world's first AI rapper drops new track and it's hot. This is March 18th. This was like 10 days ago that this is happening.
Oh girl. No, I did not. I didn't. I did not see this story, but I'm intrigued. Please continue.
Okay. So now look, because I don't know how true this is. Okay. So it says, for something completely different, and if that phrase didn't date me, my attempt to cover this next story will. So the world, okay, they putting this out to the world. The world has the first one. They not done. They're gonna make more of these. So to me, what this is telling me is, all you people that are black and y'all feel like y'all go-to career is rapping and you ain't gotta learn nothing, they finna replace you. Automation is coming for rappers too. All right. So the name is FN Mika.
Oh,
Do y'all see this? Is it highlighted on the screen? FN,
wait.
the two letters FN Mika. Now, who you think they trying to whose name is Mika? Have you met any non-black Mikas before?
No,
Daft
never.
Punk. Yeah, but they wasn't robots though. Like they were still real people though. They're this is a whole robot. I think y'all not understanding. Okay. So this is who they targeted, right? Is an artificial intelligent powered rap artist that has produced just 3 songs and yet raked in millions of views online. The robot recently released his 3rd track, Speed Demon. And curse me if I haven't already listened to it a dozen times. It's about 2.5 minutes long. I hope that listen, I want to see if they're gonna put this video in here because I want to see. Um, okay, so most of the song is relentless chanting of the track's title, as well as lyrics like "When you hear the engine screaming, body flawless." I bet if it's manufactured and living lawless, because nobody can kill you. What is this? Is look, see, you know what? This to me. Let me stop right there. Okay, I got a problem with this because this is going to be a robot that can rap about catching bullets with their teeth, and then our kids are going to go out there and feel like that makes you a good person, like that makes you a man if you could do that. And this is a robot. It doesn't die, it doesn't feel anything. Okay, whatever it's rapping about, it didn't feel anything, it didn't go through any sadness because of being broke. Okay, and now look at third. Is that what you know what i I wonder. I wonder because that would be them really just playing in our face. Okay. Okay,
Right.
no problem.
F Ninja or just effing Mika. Oh, it's effing Mika.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I don't know. I'm having some problems with this already. I can't do it. Okay, I ain't going. So I'm not going. But we got to give it one view. So listen, y'all watch the view on here, but don't give it any outside views. Okay. So the lyrics are still somehow superior to those created by Shyman, singer songwriter robot that we covered back in February 2020. It's okay. So this has happened last year, and I didn't know about it. He's also released the rapper, like they trying to personalize this rapper. I mean, this robot. They're saying a self-described robot rapper. Like, so effing Mika decided to describe himself as a robot. So this is, I need to see this. Okay.
But
Um.
You know that in the Arab countries they already have a AI that has like citizenship and is a whole person.
See what I'm saying? Look, then it's gonna be like, instead of us having to say that we don't like the other alternative lifestyles, now people gonna identify as a robot. Get out of here. Just know this is where it all starts, right? So the other tracks that he has accepted, not accepted by this earth, right? But also has released Moonwalking and Internet. The body of work has been described as creepy but catchy and of little consequence. So it's giving out creepy raps, right? But they're catching on. So you're gonna have a bunch of people around here chanting and keeping something in their head over and over and over again. That's creepy. This is a problem. So let's see. Oh, F
But
and
that's
Mika.
beta.
Hmm.
That's beta programming and mind control.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And it's being done by a robot, like all of the movies has told us it's gonna be. Okay. Now look, F and Mika, they're using the name in this, right? They're using the name. They stop calling it a robot. F and Mika has energetic but passionless lyrics that seem to strictly be about consumerism. I wonder who's paying for this. Still, the AI has more than 1 billion views and 9 million TikTok followers. Do you see this? Do you see how quick this was? This was March 18th. It's 10 days later, and this robot already has access. And I say person because there's somebody behind this thing for right now, right? So they have 1 billion views, 1 billion times somebody has viewed this, and 9 million followers, people that's going to be viewing multiple things. They're talking about the lyrics that are catching on, but they're so basically consumers of music aren't requiring anything out of this robot. They already have been saying that our music don't make no sense. So as machine learning and AI advances, Soul attempts to recreate art, though we are far from replacing any human of consequence. So, okay, listen, I would have wanted them to stop at we're far from replacing any human. They said we're far from replacing any human of consequence. So you don't matter. If this AI can take your place, you don't matter. And that can be subjective. They're just going to decide who matters or not. So before I play this video, you have anything you want to add to this part right here, like us discussing this?
Honestly, they've been telling you this is going to happen for a long time. From the Jetsons, they brought it into you nice and light. Then from Bicentennial Man, I Am Legend or I Am Robot, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised. And remember, what was it in 2019? The whole sex doll scandal. I've been trying to tell people transhumanism is coming. I hope that everyone is prepared.
Transhumanism, it's a name. See, you right, Tampa Supreme, probably. And look, Queen and went and looked up the lyrics. Robots are taking over. See, and they're taking over because we're letting them, because this is something that's interesting. Okay, what we need to be doing is anything that is artificial intelligence replacing a human, we need to not give it the extra. Like if they're gonna make them spend the money to make us have to do it. Okay, because this right here, they go too far. They can never just stop. Hey, Complex, welcome. They can never stop at just getting one thing. Like get a robot that like cleans up, like oil spill, so that way people don't have to die. You can't just do that and just sit down somewhere. You got to go into, let's see what else we can come up with. Why is nothing never enough? So I'm gonna play this video and see if they show us. Tell me if you can hear it. Oh, wait, I may not have shared audio. Hold on.
And you have the volume on the video off as well.
Right. Hold on. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, hold on. Share audio. Okay, here we go. So at the beginning, he's reading the article. Let me see if they show us.
And lawless when you're not real. Mere 2 weeks before, well, also released Moonwalkin' and Internet. The body of his work has been described as creepy but catchy and of little consequence. As noted by WFPK, Funmaker has energetic but passionless lyrics that seem to strictly be about consumerism. Still, the AI has more than 1 billion views and 9 million TikTok followers. And perhaps its best compliment, it could be mistaken for a bad human rap artist. As machine learning and AI advances, so will attempts to recreate art, though we are far from replacing any human of consequence.
Okay, did y'all see the eyes on this? Did y'all see that? No, I'm not Triple X. Listen, this is I'm telling you right now, this is a problem. Did you see the eyes?
No, I was doing something with the mashed potatoes. Run it back real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh. Do y'all see this?
Yeah, that shit looks weird as hell. But I like how they flipped it to Funmaker though.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to stand for. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Yep. Remember, I used to actually watch that show. That's telling my age.
Me
but
too.
Okay. Hey Laro, welcome. Okay, now look, I'm finna show y'all, right? This. I'm finna delete this out my Spotify. So do y'all see this eyes? That looks gross. It looks horrible. So let's see this speed demon. Let's see. Whose voice do that sound like? If you had to guess, if you didn't know this was a robot and you had to guess this was a person, who would you say that this person belongs to? What culture? Did y'all hear it? Because that's crazy. Okay, here's moonwalking.
Yo, bro, I just got a DM. You won't believe what it says. This ain't gonna kill me.
So that's what it's telling. It's gonna be telling everybody to moonwalk with a shotty in the lobby. First of all, right? Let's just say this. Computers can come up with different rhymes and all of that kind of stuff very easily. So they're not actually freestyling. That's A, right? Yeah, it sounds like a mumble rapper, right? It sounds like it's telling people that it's cool to walk around holding guns in hotel lobbies and get arrested. Because see, if you arrest a robot, it can do what? What happens to it? You arrest a person. Yeah, no, Queen, this is what I'm saying. This is AI. Right? So who did they put into the algorithm to mimic? Because it starts off with a base of some kind, some idea. And this is the last one. This is the last song. It's called Internet.
What he said? Can we do it now? Another nigga talking on the fucking internet. But he big mad cause his bitch get neck.
I refuse to play any more of that. And I'm going to delete this out of my Spotify. I'm sorry that I even have to have this in my history.
I can't.
But so now,
to be fair, that did sound like rockers though.
Yeah, okay. And see that now I'll give you that it can, but I'm sorry. I think that I've yet to hear a rocker use the N-bomb.
What about Limp Bizkit?
He did? I didn't know that. I mean, they did.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you sound like yeah.
I don't know. This is it's weird, but I did a video on this. I'm gonna send it to you after the show about
Okay,
AI
and put it
is
in the
that
chat too, so other people can go and watch the video too. Because Robbie does do extra, excellent breakdowns of things that in you know in current events, and that's why I like the fact that she is on here for these topics.
thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, look at the complex, a person that works with computers, so they can do this with auto-tune, right?
Yeah, that could be somebody.
So he didn't say it. Okay, so Trailer Hood Limp Bizkit didn't say the N-word.
What's that other one? The tall, skinny one that was in Biker Boys.
Oh, I can't remember the name.
I don't know. I don't. Well, those some rockers have. I can't, but I thought Limp Bizkit did. So
Okay, so yeah, see, like, okay, that's not the point though, right? So Complex is saying auto tune was used to be able to make an AI rapper. Okay, so they had, you know what? And how do we know? I'm gonna be conspiracy theory, right? I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat. How do we know all of the times where they've been producing music for us that they weren't keeping all of these accents and lyrics and stuff in a database to do this? How do we know that they weren't always planning this? So, and then there goes Robbie's AI video. Yeah, so now I personally feel like this is them playing in our face. This is a slap in our face, right? Because the thing that we do have a monopoly on, right, is whether you like it or not, we do have a monopoly on the music performance, the writing, the singing, the rapping, all of the performance. We have a monopoly on that. That is ours. That's how we're able to make money. So for them to now take this away, now, we can debate later on, should we have gotten a monopoly on other things? Why did we pick this one? Why was this one given to us? Whatever. All of that's not the point. The point is right now. Oh, wait, so Complex does computers and music. Yeah, Complex, we're going to drop the link in a little bit if you can come up. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and drop it now. So anybody that has information on this type of thing, please feel free to hit the link. Oh, go ahead, Robbie. I'm sorry.
It was Kid Rock, and Kid Rock uses the N word all the time, and he got an award from the NAACP.
Yeah, okay. So I did hear about Kid Rock. So look, and then here's third one. What's next? Robotic athletes? Yeah, probably. Because if we complaining about all of the stuff that we aren't getting, yeah, this is their answer, right? So y'all keep wanting reparations because they're not giving you money, and then they're not going to have any other opportunities for you either. If you're complaining about what they're already giving you or what they're requiring you to do, this is their answer. Oh, well, you don't want to do it? Okay, we'll make a robot to do it. Hey, Complex. Yeah, can you tell me what's going on with this robot? Like, what is this? Is this a thing?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? How you doing? Happy Sunday.
Hey, Complex.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. So let me give you guys a quick analogy so we can correlate how the tech works. So let's just take Uber, for example. So what Uber did was they put humans in cars, right? And then there was a software that essentially recorded literally every single route every Uber driver took, right? And then what they did was they took the data, okay? And what they do is they dump it into an AI algorithm, which now you can now just automate the cars to do it because all of the humans gave the AI algorithm the data so that the cars can now, they can do all the back road routes, the side streets and all that kind of stuff, right? So in this venue, it works the same way. So you use an application like an auto tune. And so what it essentially does is it reads voice inflection. Now, just on its own, you could just make music with it and just record the music with it, and then it'll give an effect. However, if you create an algorithm to really record how the computer or whatever module that you're using, how it's processing your voice, if you create an algorithm to extract the data, then what you could do is turn around and then feed it back out. And now you just create, well, here's what you do. So you create so you just create just a voice. You know who who else just did this was Google. So like if you have Google Home, for example, I think you can get Issa Rae's voice, and then the Google Home thing, kind of like the Amazon Alexa thing, will talk to you in her voice.
Wow. See, I don't know how I
Okay.
feel about that as a celebrity. Like, I don't, I know you can't control what people do with your voice once it's out there, but I don't
No,
know how I feel.
she sold that. Like she got paid.
Oh,
She got paid for that. That's Google.
oh,
She got paid for that. Yeah.
oh, I thought it was like you just pick a celebrity and they just, okay. So no, she actually okay. So she's with it. She's on board.
I would like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Love me like that. That you need me on your electronics. Yeah.
No,
I mean, look,
weird.
Some of this stuff. I was just saying, like, in that scenario, was it Robbie? She's kind of like, I might, So it's kind of like, right?
Yeah, so
in some
like,
venues,
okay, sure, why not? Y'all
you may do it, and then in other venues, we're looking at this like, oh my God, I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of where we find ourselves in this whole sort of fourth industrial. This is what all this is. Right. You also have sort of like the whole deep fake thing, same thing. It's like with the voice, but you're just images now where you can superimpose someone else's face on something and it looks completely real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all this. It's all the same thing. It's just being applied differently. But in the music, you play that stuff and you think it's just some regular old mumble rapper, and you actually asked a good question. Like, how do you know if most of these mumble rappers that you've been hearing this whole time wasn't AI this whole time?
Yeah. And so we're all getting all mad about people and their, loyalties to the Black community. Like, because here's my issue, right? If these are the mumble rappers and they're not actual people, they've just been AI, you can make them say anything on the main stage. You could have one of these mumble rappers come out and say, hey, like I know Lil Wayne did this. He's a real person, but you can make this happen more, where he was like, white cops never did anything to me. I'm not going to protest them. When all the Black people were getting, we're getting harmed by police officers. So what if they want to take it further than that, and some of our beloved mumble rappers are actually AI, and they can make them say whatever they want to, and then we got all of these kids looking up to them going, well, if they feel that way, that must be the right answer.
But this is the thing, and a lot of people don't know. I mean, well, a lot of people know, but it's said to be conspiracy theory. There's a whole thing, with that lighted group and how they get down and what they do with people. Like, that's been a part of their mystique, or the conspiracies that have been brought up, that they've been putting people into robot bodies. And then when you look at series like Black Mirror that show you about moving around consciousness from human being to machine and back, like they already have all of the technology. They've been doing this for some decades. We are just the consumer finding out, because they figured out how to make it affordable, where they will take all of our money.
Mm-hmm. See, Complex, let me ask you, did you hear, huh?
No, I'm sorry. I stepped away I was listening, but I was muted.
Okay, no problem. Did you hear the songs themselves? Since you also have a background in music, what do you think about the songs? Would you, as a what is your part in music? Like, as a producer, would you put them out there? Would you say, yeah, this is a good thing, I think I can make money with this? Like, how do you feel about the music that you heard from this AI rapper?
No, because I'm older, so I kind of came up in the hip hop era, right? I was DJing in high school in early mid '90s, and then went into making music and stuff coming out of high school and all that. So we were using analog. We were using, well, when you get to like the Akai MPC 2000 XLs and stuff like that, that's when we start going more into the digital realm, where there's like an onboard processor. But before then, it was more of an analog electrical type of device, like a SP1200 or.
Hey, hold on, Complex. Let me ask this, because when you said that, right, when you brought up your age and equipment that you use, so did you object to auto-tune when it first came out? Like, all of the stuff that they used to be able to do this, do you remember objecting to that happening?
No, because you got to go back to like Roger Troutman was using the whatchamacallit, the voice box, right? Through the I'm trying to remember what keyboard he used to use, but there was like this module on there where you put this piece and if you kind of just sing into it, it'll digitize your voice. See, so the technology to do this stuff actually started, you got to go back to, okay, okay, so this has been like a long sort of progression. You got to start with, microphone technology, then running into like tube processors, right? So now you're doing, you have like these amplifiers that have compression tubes in them, and then you can start to manipulate the sound of the mic itself, right? But this is all analog devices, and the only thing that happened is that you took the same concepts and it just grew with the technological implementation of music. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not.
So let me ask. Okay.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
means that there's a good reason for this technology to exist, but
Right,
they're
right. There's a
choosing to
precedent.
do it. They're
There's a
choosing to do
precedent.
all of this.
Well, now it's like you get to the point like today, okay, AI just enables you to do it. It was never as if there was like an intent. Okay, so anyone who's a natural born musician does not want AI making music. Let's start there. Right? Like
Right.
think about it, right? So it was never like any musician's intent to create this. It's technology that's enabling this. It's no different than when Steve Jobs came out with the iPod, because when he did that, okay, he essentially nuked my business. I was a manufacturer and a distributor. I did independent music distribution. Okay.
Mhm.
And so when everything went digital with the iPod, no one needed CDs or shit like that. I was still in the vinyl game, but no one needed like CDs and all that crap. With the advent of the iPod, the music industry as you knew it got hammered, right?
Yeah.
And it was tech that did it. It wasn't the artists didn't want that to happen. Artists made more money the old way.
Mm-hmm.
I made more money the old way. You know who makes all the money with entertainment and music and digital arts and all that now? The tech companies do.
Because they have to then upload all of that into the iPod or whatever.
Think about all. Okay, so people watch movies more on Netflix than they do movie theaters. People consume more music on like Spotify and stuff like that than they do on the radio, and they don't go. Record stores don't even exist anymore. You get what you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
There was tech that
now
changed.
everything
It was tech
in
that changed it.
the internet space.
Yeah,
Nothing is.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In the clouds, as they say.
Yeah.
The last record store that I really remember though was like FYE. FYE used to be used to be the stuff. Now you're right. Everything is Apple Music, Google Play Music, Prime
Spotify,
Music.
Prime,
Yep.
I
Pandora.
have Spotify. I'm sorry, Complex.
Yeah. Bandcamp. I don't know if you guys.
Your competitor.
Well, no, I don't know if you guys mess with Bandcamp is a good source.
No, I haven't. What is that?
Yeah, good independent music. That's what I run my label off of. Been running it off of Bandcamp since like 2013.
Okay, Complex, you're gonna have to come over here one day on your own and tell us all of this stuff that you're into, because I have not seen that on your channel. I didn't know that you had
I have a whole there's a whole playlist of our entire catalog I have on my channel. It's Artisan Rep Digimedia. That's Artisan Rep. That's the name of the label. And all of that music is from like 2007 to 2015.
Okay, you have a wrench. You can drop that here in the chat,
Yeah,
because
I'll
feel
dig
like
it up.
Okay. Listen. Go ahead, Robbie. Go ahead.
Do you also like sell music to creators? Because I've noticed that is like a good place for natural music artists to be as well. Like airbit.com, I love them. They always have tracks.
Yeah, we're rebooting everything with a whole completely different media model. So we're in the process of that, but we got a couple other things going on right now. So I don't know, man. Maybe later this year we'll get around to it. But it's basically we never shut the label down. The stuff's always been available this whole time. It's just that life happened, right? Like my wife passed away in 2015, and then I walked.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm listening,
sorry to hear
Complex.
that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
walked away from music at that point, and then my partner had he's got 2 kids now, so
hmm
life happened, and music
right.
just kind of yeah. Yep.
It took her back. You got to deal with all. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I get that. Are you gonna go back to it? And then I'm gonna stop,
No, you're
questioning
good.
you.
No, like I said, it's just doing it differently.
Okay,
Like with the licensing, what Robbie was just talking about. It works different in this new space now, right? It works completely different. So yeah, we got some ideas.
okay.
Mhm.
Now, so you have a question, Complex, from Laro. He says, "Can you ask Complex about the future of NFTs?"
NFTs, okay, non-fungible tokens. Right now, there's a huge bubble on that stuff. It's like anything right now. And I don't want to. Okay, let me just say this. I'm going to give this disclaimer on your platform. I'm
Yeah.
not a certified financial planner. Okay. If you want one, go to cfp.org. Okay. So don't take anything I'm saying as like investment advice. Okay.
And
That's not
I
what I'm
also
doing.
just want to say this, Complex. Laro, that means you're gonna have to come back because Complex and some additional men who are in the finances field are gonna come over here and have a
I'm
live
going to
stream.
call Lionel. I got to call Lionel today. I told you in the email.
Okay.
I'm going to call him today. So I told you I was going to call him
Okay,
Sunday.
cool.
Okay. All right. All right. I
So
just
that's
saw you
gonna
went
be
live. I
coming
wanted
up.
to
Then
follow
you gotta
through.
come back in here, Laro, and pay attention and be in the chat for all of the good information. Don't be trying to
That's
sneak
going to
that in
be the
here. We're
live
talking about
stream. That's
AI.
going to be the live stream actually to really break that down. But just to answer his
Right,
question,
right.
so in the new sort of crypto space, you know, currencies are going to be more specialized, and then they'll be tethered to larger ones, right?
Mm,
So things like in the art space, what they call a non-fungible token or an NFT, they're really experimenting with this with art, basically just digitizing it, right? And there's a whole
mm-hmm,
method. There's a whole method to it, but like anything else, crypto, as soon as something catches a buzzword, right? Guess what
mm-hmm.
happens? FOMO, and
Oh, okay.
you get a quick sort of investment bubble type of thing where no one can actually sensibly explain why somebody has an album that sold as an NFT for $6 million. It's some EDM guy who did this a few weeks back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, I would chalk it up to some clever social engineering,
Oh, so you're
right?
questioning why somebody would purchase it for that price? Like,
Well,
why would they go that far?
think about the logic in it.
Right.
Just fundamentally think about it. Not to say that NFTs as a digital currency vehicle doesn't have any legitimacy. I'm talking about justify the price of justify it for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wu
like if
Tang
you
Wu
were
Tang.
with minus the bubble and FOMO, why would anybody reasonably do this
Yeah,
outside of that?
yeah. Think about this. Wu-Tang Clan had an album that they made. It's only one. There's only one. Matter of fact, the guy, what's his name? He was the guy who got busted for running up the price of a prescription drug. I'm trying to remember his name.
I
But
remember that. I saw it on American Greed. Yep.
yeah, this guy he bought. Oh, okay. So Wu-Tang made some rich Arab dude paid the Wu-Tang Clan to make an album, but it was only gonna be one copy of it in existence. Okay. And the album is in like this gold laden box and all this kind of stuff, right? And it costs like $2 million. Okay, this is a one-off Wu-Tang album,
And
right?
nobody else knows anything that's on it. Like none of the songs were released.
No, there's like one, I think. And there was a snippet of one. It's a snippet, and that album was like worth $2 million, right? But this thing is like it has a gold laden box and all this. Yeah, okay, now I can see $2 million. Yeah, it's a one. There's only one of this, right? And I can see that increasing in value. Okay, that makes sense. But digital art. Help me understand. And this is coming from a dude who's in the digital space. Like, help me understand.
Right.
Right.
I can't. I know you. That must be just rhetorical.
Yeah. No, seriously, because sometimes I think people really try to fundamentally understand what's going on here, and sometimes it's in my view, it's smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of tech companies who have this is a way to raise capital, basically.
I'm gonna drop this link in the chat so you guys could get more information about the Wu-Tang album that's over 2 mil. But the guy that bought it was Martin Shkreli.
Martin Shkreli, that's him.
Yeah.
I think he's doing Fed time right now. I think he is. I'm not sure.
Yes, following convictions for security fraud, a federal
Boom.
court
There you go.
assets belonging to him. Yes.
He bought the album with like ill-gotten gains, basically. There's a whole thing about that album. He bought that money. The money wasn't exactly the money was funny. And then what happened was the album got tied up in who owns it now.
Oh, yeah, because that was my question. Is now that he's doing, if he did all of that to get it, and you're not supposed to be able to use dirty money to get stuff, and actually be allowed to prosper from it. My question is, who are they going to say who owns it? Like the people whose money he stole, or what?
I heard Ghostface Killer was saying something that he had some very interesting stuff to say about it in an interview. He couldn't really speak a lot to it. But yeah, it's kind of up in the air as to who actually owns it. Now, I think the dude who actually produced it, I think he's trying to claim ownership of it right now. Yeah, because think about it, right? It should go back. It should go if somebody bought something fraudulent, it should go back to the original person.
Yeah, to whoever. Yeah, I can see that. It's just, what? Okay, look, we'll do that later. We got to talk about this rapper, this AI rapper. So now now Complex, I'm glad you are the one that came up because you have a background in both technology and music. So I'm just curious, have you given your opinion about what you heard or what you saw, like the music, the imagery, right? The lyrics, all of this. What do you think that's going to do to our community? If this is, because he already has like millions of views, billions, not millions, billions of views and millions of followers on social media. There are millions of people who are following this guy to see if he says or does. Stop saying guy. Okay, this robot to see if he says or does anything next.
Yeah. He's not. This isn't the first one. There was a few Coachella events. And matter of fact, there's like a very popular Japanese digital artist. So they project the 3D. She's like an anime type of character or something, right? But like the technology they use to beam her hologram is so damn realistic. So there's like an actual band that plays behind her. And you also got to think about this in a 2D sense. Remember that group, the Gorillas? They're basically a cartoon group. Do you guys remember them?
No. That's why. I don't remember them. Who is it now?
Came
what
out
are they
like
called?
this. The Gorillas, Gorillaz. They're like extremely popular. They came out like in the early 2000s. Matter of fact, the first joint, there's a rapper named Dale the Funky Homo Sapien who's on it, and so it's Damon Albarn from the group Blur, Dale the Funky Homo Sapien, and I'm trying to remember who else was a part of that, but. The thing is that you never saw the actual artists. The group is actually cartoon characters, and so when the group Gorillas would perform live, there'd be this huge projection screen, and there'd be the cartoons that are performing, but behind it, it's the actual artists. So there's a precedent even for this stuff in a 2D sense, and then you fast forward maybe to like 2012, 2013. And this company in Japan came out with this anime chick artist, and it looks super realistic. And then Coachella did it in 2016, 2017. They had Tupac perform. Yeah, look that one up. Coachella, Tupac.
Okay.
Yes, I think that was the other hologram performance I was trying.
That was the other one. Yeah, it was Tupac, and he did it at Coachella. So they've been doing it like, as I'm saying, like this just been done for like a good minute, man. It's the technology now. That's really what it is.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, they were talking about how it worked. They had Snoop Dogg, and a projector and foil and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff that can be done with technology. Oh, Robbie. Okay, yeah. See, look at this. Now, who is this?
Oh, this is Sophia. And
That's
Sophia Yeah, she was given citizenship in Saudi Arabia in 2017. Arabia, the first robot to be given legal personhood. She is legally a person
Yep.
anywhere in the world. So robots are people. Transhumanism.
No, no, I don't like none of
No,
this.
she has citizenship. Yeah.
She's a
There's
citizen. She is
interviews.
considered a human
There's
being.
interviews with her. Yeah, there's interviews of people asking her questions, and she's having a conversation with people.
Yeah,
So
you
let me
guys
ask.
really. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, okay, Complex and Raw B, right? Question. So, when they're giving interviews, why? Okay, here's my question: Is why are we saying that this is a real person? I know, like, the law has already determined it or whatever, but why are we
Hmm.
going along with this? Because my question is, AI. When you start out with AI, does it at some point then just starts to take over and do what it wants, right? Like
Okay.
that's the point of it. Is that what
No.
makes it different? Okay.
Here's what you do. You start here. Define real.
Okay.
Define real.
Yeah, well, okay, so to me, real meaning it's animated in and of its own. I didn't have to do anything,
Hmm.
right? I didn't
Hmm.
have to program anything. I didn't have to create anything because when
Hmm.
you have a real person, the only thing
Hmm.
that needs to happen is two people enjoy themselves a little too much. That's it. Everything else above that you have to do in
Hmm.
order to make a robot is what
Hmm.
I say is the antithesis of real.
Okay. Now
But this
to
is the
that.
thing. Go ahead,
Oh yeah, you
Complex.
go ahead. No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, we call for these developers to make our technology more humanized. We call for that.
Yeah,
Predictive
I know.
text when you're typing, when you're speaking to Siri and Alexa and whoever else, they're learning and they're adapting to your personality. When we feed these algorithms with what we watch and like, you know what I'm saying? We sign up for all of this. This is just the next evolution. And AI is
Yep.
built on the three principles of robotics.
Hmm.
But we also see where those principles can go wrong because what we are thinking about when we program them versus what their infinite understanding
Right.
can turn
That's
into is
that.
scary.
Exactly. And that's the part that I'm having the most trouble with. And my question is I know that we called for it, but so can we call for the stop of it? Like I
Well,
can't blame us as humans for not knowing that. Well, and I possibly can, right? The people
well,
in tech knew.
well. I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna say
Complex.
this. I was gonna say
Yeah.
this, right? So if you look up, if you look up, like, so, like, let's say, for example, in a, a legal dictionary, right, like a Black's Law dictionary, right, and you look up like the definition of a person, okay,
Hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean a human,
Yeah.
okay,
See, I don't like that. I think we need to stop
right,
with the BS. But go
right.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so, but that, if you want to know how this happens, this is how.
Yeah.
This is the reason. This is why there's such a thing called corporate personhood, right, where a
Hmm.
corporation can be considered a person because
Right.
it's comprised of people. Now, to go back to the analogy that you were saying about creation, so creation is creation because if you look up the definition of the word create, it does not
I
specify
know.
that creation happens when two people do it, right? Creation is
Right.
actually a process in and of itself.
Right.
Okay,
No, I get that.
so okay,
I'm
so
saying
let me.
that I don't want her to be called a person. Call her something else. But
But
I feel
but
like personhood, like,
but in order,
and I
but in
know
order
about corporate
to,
personhood. I know that's for
A
tax purposes.
citizen.
But it goes. See, that's what
right.
I'm saying. It goes too far. We could have just left it at that. Why couldn't humans just stop right there? Why do we need the extra? Why do we have to do too much?
Well,
Okay.
okay. Well, now that's you're going down a slippery slope by asking that question, right? Because
Yeah, I know.
because you're essentially talking about interpretations of commerce law. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's where the Black's Law Dictionary comes in, and its interpretation of words and terms, right? See, so in
Hmm.
the commerce realm, you're dealing with legal interpretations and commerce interpretations, and not, linguistic, or basic text interpretations, right? So
Hmm.
these are the different venues. So when you say, well, how is it that AI can get this? It's because, well, based on the actual definitions of the word, she's technically, quote unquote, a person. She can actually speak for herself.
So that's my question is, where are these answers coming from? So if you do an interview, behind AI, right? I was
Mhm.
thinking like somebody typed it in the chat, it's like the singularity, right? When they become
Yeah.
self-aware. So that
Uh-huh.
means no one is feeding into it anymore. It's doing it on its
It's
own.
on
Is
its
that
own on its
still an
own.
algorithm?
And
Yeah.
yeah, it is. And I really wish there's a guy in the space. He's part of the brain trust. His name's Engineering Cannabis. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay. Yeah. So he actually does this. He's a computer science. He's a computer science engineer. Okay. And he creates AI algorithms. He can literally explain how it works.
Okay.
It basically what we're talking about here, and this is not my wheelhouse, right? But I can kind of tell you what I know.
Right.
We're talking about neural networks. Okay, so one computer on its, or one, let's just say one robot on its own, is basically going to be able to extrapolate and learn all it can based on the inputs from its immediate environment, right?
Ah.
But let's say I have two of the same robots, right? And I have them in
Mm-hmm.
two completely different places, two completely different environments. One environment's hot, one's cold. One is this, one's that. Everything's polar opposites. However, I have them piped into the same neural network. Guess what they do? They learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
The more the more robots you have piped into a neural network, guess what they learn? More.
Oh Lord. Yeah, see, look, I don't like all of this. I want it all to stop right now. Okay.
But that's like kind of how the programming is set up. It's not set up with an end date in mind. It's set up with an infinite loop. And that's why when
Yeah.
everybody thought that like
Right.
And I don't
1999 was the end of the world, it wasn't, because the computers
Right.
were set up to continue on to 2000. You got to look at it like that when you're looking at AI. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just want them to stop it. Like I think I know enough now to know I'm against it. Because you know why? Because you're
Wait,
not
why?
doing because we're nothing is gonna ever be enough. You know, I know that computers aren't made with an end date, but we should see, this to me speaks to the fact that human beings are never satisfied. Sit down somewhere sometimes. I
Uh,
know complex, because you work
no,
in
I'm
the
gonna let
field, so
Robbie
for
talk.
you like the science part.
Well, I have
Right.
something
It
to
is.
say to that, but I want her to. Yeah, I want her to speak.
Yeah, no, go ahead, y'all. I'm
But I
quiet now.
mean, it's like the robots are kind of necessary because of the way we mistreat the planet and we use all the resources. We have to logically be prepared to go into space. And we don't want to be the first on the frontier to go into space. And ultimately, that is, I think, the focal point of these humanoid robotics, to send them out there to see how they are able to interact with the environments, to get
But
more
are we gonna
data.
stop there? Like, so when they
No.
do that, right? Are we gonna like put them in space or whatever, and then stop there? Is it
No.
is
No.
it gonna be just more and more and more all the time?
More space
Yes.
travel. Why do you think they have everybody hooked on Marvel? And I love Marvel. But when we look at it, like taking a couple steps back from a 3D perspective, it's to get
Mm.
your mind ready for universal travel, for like not traveling just in our universe, but to infinity and beyond. What they're trying to do is also dispel the religious people's view of the universe. You know, they want to put this thought process in that there is no creator, that the only creator is the universe as it expands. It's a lot. It's a very complex topic.
Let me try. I'm trying to go back to the point I wanted to make, because yeah, this really did kind of go down that slippery slope.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So yeah, with the robotics piece. Okay. So let's parse this out a little bit, right? So just during Trump's presidency, I believe it was like late 2018, he announced the creation of the Space Force, right? Um, uh, we did a lot of space and technology live streams, right? We really just talk about what's going on with the realm of space, right? Virgin Galactic, Relativity. You got all these various companies that are doing, commercial-based launches. SpaceX probably is launching rockets. Well, they launch rockets on a weekly basis. Blue Origin, who's owned by Amazon, They're doing launches on a weekly basis. You also have companies that are launching like small CubeSats. SpaceX is also launching Starlink. All of those satellites that are going up in orbit, they launched like 60 at a time, I believe, to ultimately create a mesh network of over, I'm trying to remember the number, 12,000, 20,000, something like that, satellites that'll essentially just create a global communication network. So at
That's
that
why
point,
they're pushing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. What's that?
That's why they're pushing 5G so hard. People don't even get it. 5G is not for us to have better cell phone service down here. It's for the people out in the space to be able to have a better connection.
Well, I would say this: 5G is actually going to be, well, okay, you're going to need 5G in order to have full automation, to have full self-driving autonomy. You have to have 5G because of the data transfer. Every time they try to do this stuff on 4G networks, you want to know what happens. Latency issues occur, and then a self-driving car crashes into something. Okay, the only way it's going to occur is when you have full 5G rollout. What you're talking about, Rob B, is 6G, which is what China launched last year. They launched a 6G satellite. Okay, the IEE. I'm trying to remember what regulatory body governs like what the protocol for each generation of cellular bandwidth, right? So we're on 5th gen, okay? However, China launched a 6G satellite, and that governing body doesn't even know, like, okay, well, wait a minute. We haven't even like outlined what 6G is going to be yet, right? So the Chinese already have their own designs, and what we postulated was that it's 6G, their 6G satellite strictly for space-based communications. Because 5G is good enough for terrestrial, right? 5G will basically run all your cars by itself. Okay, that protocol of cellular data transfer is enough to basically let cars run on its own, and everything else automates. 5G is purely sufficient for that. 6G is some other shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and thank you for giving me that clarity between the 5 and the 6G.
No, you're good.
But
You're good.
There's so much stuff that's going on that people are completely unaware of. Like, a lot of people don't even know that we have a space force, and like that show on TV wasn't just a joke. Like, it's real. Yo, it is crazy to me though how these are important advances in our society, but society knows about WAP, but society knows how to fight about Biden and Trump, but society knows about get your booty to the polls, but the masses don't know about what artificial intelligence is doing. And I watched a lot of videos about Tesla and how those cars were working, their, failure rate or making a short stop, depending on if you were going around a bend. We are not ready.
Okay. Yeah, no, I heard y'all in the background, and it's a lot. Now, Mr. Research, if you can come up, because Mr. Research says, why are they trying to hide the horrific side of this discussion? Why are they trying to hide the deaths? Why are they trying to hide the accidents? Well, you mean like, why are us up here on the panel, or do you mean like the people who are behind all of this? So I'm just curious. Because if it's something that we need to explore, yes, let's talk about it. Go ahead, Mr. Research. Oh, look it. I didn't know you had a puppy. Mr. Research? Okay. Well, maybe he'll come in a little bit. But yeah, I just have a lot of concerns with, okay, so the last thing I was able to talk about was when y'all were saying that the purpose of these humanoids is for them to go out into space and explore for us, and they'll learn about the environment. But here's the thing. Are we going to be getting information that's helpful to them as the humanoids, or is it going to be something that we can use? Because there is, in fact, a difference. So we aren't going to know how we would react in space, or if it's a possibility for space travel, and even just listening to it from the humanoids. But Mr. Research, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can now.
All right. Sorry, I'm traveling. I'm in the car. So let me say real quickly. This is why. So I had a panel discussion. Let me pull over. I had a panel discussion on black tech and the lie of black tech. Mr.
Yeah, I
Gabe was
saw
on
that.
there, and Mr. J Black was there. Okay, I'm glad you did. And I don't know if you heard the inconsistency. And the problem in tech, and just for qualifiers, I used to work at Mary Megatrends back in the day. I used to work at Microsoft in Bellevue. Used to work at Mindspring, and then I used to work at Earthlink. I got out of tech around '97. I got out when Red Hat was popping. Okay, so I've been in medical ever since. And this is why we need qualifiers for when we out here holding these higher level conversations, because a lot of times people are in certain areas and certain spaces, and there's a multitude of information. And sometimes I think what's happening, Topaz, people are presenting things because it's to their betterment, to their end goal, to present it as, oh, no problem. So let me talk to you about a couple of horror stories. A horror story at Facebook between Sam and Alice. Have you ever heard of Sam and Alice, Topaz?
Sam and Alice. No, I haven't.
That's because they're hiding it from you. They don't want you to know. Sam and Alice got together and they created Facebook created Sam and Alice. And it was a little piece of AI. Like, it's not really a major factor. It's like 1/10, 1/15 of AI. And they turned it on and they start talking to each other. Now, the goal was not that they were to talk to each other. The goal was that they would talk to the human as an interface and then have like some type of bidding type scenario. Well, these two computers decided within a couple of seconds, forget this English, that's too slow. We're going to create our own language.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It says that they had to put a cork in it. They got shot down after they created their own language. And so, see, that's my thing. You think that they're going to tell us everything? If they are truly smart and they're intelligent, what do we know about telling everything you know, right? At some point, they're going to understand that okay, let's say that they haven't been programmed to do that. When they watch enough humans, they're going to notice that we don't do it either. How long?
And that's why they don't want
you said it's a couple of seconds. They didn't even have to watch us to figure out that that's the best answer.
And see, this is why they don't want us to talk. This is why when we bring up these points of all these autonomous car crashes and deaths, and we bring up the fact that nobody wants to pay the bill when the robot car kills a person. No, they're fixing that, and it's gonna happen, and it's like, come on, dude. They've been talking about this since the days of WebAd. Now, I don't mind it happening, but here's the problem, Topaz. I'm gonna ask, I'll be the same thing. Once the computer becomes sentient, do you think it's gonna want you to put a slave chain around its neck? Because that's your goal, is to make it work for you. Do you really think once it finds out that it has a metal body or that it has no body at all and it can just expand, you think you... So what's the purpose? And I'm going to end with this. The purpose is, we honor students. I'm an honor student, and this has been the same thing I've seen since I was in first grade. Smart people get caught up in the fact that they're smart, like a crack addiction.
And they have to
and they get caught up so much, they want to prove that they're smart. So the business class, right? The business,
I think you might have a delay, Mr. Research
class, which I'm part of, has realized, since these idiot eggheads want to be smart, we'll make them create the atom bomb. We'll make them create. We'll make them create the atom bomb. We'll make them create all these things. And once they create it, we'll get rid of that nerd. And it happens every time. And now horrific things happen. And guess what? I give up the mic on that, Topaz. That computer's not going to want to be a slave.
Yeah. And that's my point. Is that it's not going to want to have anything. At some point, it's going to figure out that it's the one doing the hard labor, and it's going to want, nothing wants to be subjugated. So if it becomes human as close as possible, it's going to have the same drives that we do, but better abilities. That's not good for us. Oh, go ahead, Complex.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can now.
Okay. That's not quite how AI works.
Okay.
Well, let's start there. Okay. It's not, because again, you've been using AI like for some years now, and has your phone like rebelled against you? I mean, it may have the battery might have went bad on your, maybe your battery went bad on your iPhone. I would just chalk it up to the quality of the battery, not, the phone saying, you know what, fuck you. Yeah. And, like, I'm not making no more. Well, if your phone decides not to make any more phone calls, it's probably because you didn't pay your bill, not because the phone, or like, let's just say if the screen cracks, right? Like the phone itself didn't do it. It's probably because you dropped it, right? But see, what the phone can do though? It can triangulate like GPS coordinates. It can run applications that can give you directions, right? So you have AI already running on the you basically have been walking around for some years now with a tricoder in your pocket. You didn't even know it. So I kind of have to push back against this sort of Luddite position that Black people oftentimes have with technology and the smart shaming, right? Yep. Because I'll tell you like this, I know the app that we just finished up here, and I know what it has the capability to do. And here's what I do know. I know that it's not going to turn around and then send everything on the network just crashing into something. But what it will do is employ a shit ton of people globally, right? And a lot of it is algorithmically driven, right? It's like I have a dashboard. I can see in real time where things are moving. I can trigger, NFC commands from my computer to a single scooter in Europe or Africa or whatever. Right? Like it really does that kind of depend on application. That's why I'm like, no. Actually, I think smart people do have to have the conversation. I would like to actually have, okay, there he is. Because I would like to really kind of get some pushback on this. There's corporations that have their own, designs for how they want to implement things like automation and artificial intelligence and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is that if it's not Uber, it's Lyft. And if it's not Lyft, it's going to be this company. If it's not going to be this company, it's that company. Because the reality is you have competition within industry. Whose shit is better? Who's going to dominate the market? That's why they intrinsically would not create things that are going to go and take off on its own, but they're actually going to create the things that can do it more efficiently and more intelligently, so that they can get the lion's share. Well, but this is why it's like, can we get the correct understanding about this, please? Well, and here's like as black people, we have just let me get this out. As black people, we really have to stop fearing technology. As a technocrat, I'm about mastery of it. No, fuck all this Luddite shit. No, we master it and then we wield it so that we get the industrial gains. We make the goddamn money. That's where I'm at with it. I'm sick of people being afraid of shit all the while using it, and unbeknownst to them, having it incorporated into their daily lives, but then walking around talking about, well, what they're going to do. Meanwhile, they've been doing it. I already pointed out to you how the music industry has been giving you various forms of artificial art since the 90s. It's just been a steady progression. The only thing it's done is progress with technology. So like, I don't do that fear shit.
Okay, so let me explain this, right? So I'm gonna explain what my position, my understanding is, and then I'm gonna let you guys, Mr. Research and Complex, talk about the back and forth because I hear the back and forth. I see the difference in y'all's opinions, but this is what I'm saying, right? I do appreciate certain things that are technological, but here's the thing. Earlier, Robbie said that we as the people pushed for our technology to be more human, and I feel like that is us getting away from the fact that we're talking to robots. Like, no, you need, why do you need to, fantasize about the robot actually being a real being? Why can't you just leave it at that? So understanding and mastering technology, I'm with it, because then, like you said, we will get the benefits from that. I just don't, why does it need to be personal, like personable? I don't want, all the extra, because then people are getting too dependent on like social interactions with robots. No, this is technology. This is a machine to make things efficient. Stop trying to put your heart and your soul into an interaction with a machine. Let it be a machine. Stop with the extra, is what I feel like. And
But
so,
if
Mr.
you
Go ahead, Robbie.
But if you remember on like Richard Bay, Jenny Jones back in the day, used to have people that would like have these whole segments about being in love with inanimate objects. If you do a
Right.
quick YouTube search right now, you'll see plenty of videos with millions of views about people doing these interactions with their Siri or their Alexa. So it's like,
Yep.
I get where you're coming from, but a lot of human beings, they find the novelty in the interaction. They are impressed at how, you know what I'm saying, they can have what they need to hear from a machine. It boils down to nature versus nurture. A lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
not nurtured, so they don't have a certain level of self-esteem. They're not accepted a certain level of way, so they need these inanimate objects to make them feel okay, just like the robotic sex dolls that
Yeah,
debuted and
that's, see,
took
that's
over.
that's too much. Come on now. Like certain things, I want us to have certain things that are human being only. Something like, I don't want to invite technology into every single thing. We need to have something that's just for us. I just don't.
That's called it's called a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Let's
called
talk to us
nature.
about that.
No, it's called nature, right? So, and as humans, you have free will to unplug. You have free will to engage as much as you would like. You have all the free will in the world to engage in this as much as you would like, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking about it from the
For
fact
now.
that,
For
Yeah,
now.
yeah. For
For
now.
now.
well, I mean, well, I would say this, like even when you say even like for now, um, eh, are you guys gonna throw away your cell phones anytime soon?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it'll be forever. Okay, let's try that, right? Like I said, it's about how much you choose, how
No, no,
much you
Okay.
no.
choose to involve it, right? The reality is like new companies are going to create new innovations, and that's just okay. Have cars regressed in their technological advancements or progressed?
I
Well,
say
it
they
depends on how
progress,
you look at it.
but my
No,
question
what
to
I'm
you,
saying in their technological advancements, like you went from carbureted engines to
yeah,
EFIs, fuel injection, to TDI, turbo diesel injection, and now you're going to electric. So
But
it's a
we
right.
already had
progression,
electric cars. So it's
right? The only
actually been a
problem,
slight regression.
no, the only problem is that you didn't have the industrial capacity to scale it out at the time because the electrical grid system and everything that would have been required to just have full scale electric cars was not in place.
That's not true.
So,
They actually did have like they had everything set in place in California, and the oil industry actually shut down the electric cars so that we could get these hybrids so that the oil industry wouldn't be
mhm.
completely shut off
Well,
from
I mean,
certain
well, okay,
aspects.
so when I was speaking to competitions like within an industry, right? Then you have competing industries. Okay, so then what you might have is you might have a burgeoning industry that gets hammered by the dominant industry that says no. Look, we have a business plan that's modeled out for the next 50 years that does not include competition from someone like you. So we're going to go ahead and take you out right now. Perfect example of this was with GM in the EV1 back in the late 90s. Okay,
Hmm.
because Professor John Goodenough pioneered a battery that was actually cheap enough for GM to essentially convert their whole thing. And so when they
Right.
tested it, the people loved the car, right? And when the oil industry came in and said, "Hey, dude, look, no, no," right? Because they were getting orders for more, and they were like, "You ain't about to sell no more of these." And so they canned it. Not only did they can the whole product, but they recalled all the cars. So if you
They
bought
sure
one,
did.
GM came in and repoed that shit. They was like, we gonna scrub this.
Don't they still have them
Okay.
sitting in that lot?
There's some that are impounded, but like there's like one guy who somehow legally still owns his, like maybe a couple people who still legally own theirs, but GM basically recalled all of them for the majority of them. So there's dominating industries that compete with each other. Like, so for example, the solar industry versus the wind industry, petrol versus solar, et cetera, right? Competing energy industries, right? They compete against each other. So,
Well, Complex, that's not where I
yeah.
was going with the business part.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
So, like, I
Yeah.
was looking up the Sam and Alice thing, and so the bots were not given a directive to stick to English. So they started to make their own language so that it, to them as computers,
Mm-hmm.
it was more effective. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially, they were bilingual, English and their own computer language that helped them to do jobs better. Like they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to work all day either, it sounds like, and that's just a joke. But the point that concerns me is that a lot of technology that's created once, like let's say Facebook, right? They still
Mm-hmm.
have their messenger chat app that has chat bots. A lot of companies, when you can't get somebody on the phone, they want you to chat with them over the computer. And so these are bots that you're talking to that have a programmed list of commands. But
Mm-hmm.
if they feel as a computer, if they're able to run their numbers, like basically to me, this means computers are able to do experiments without human intervention. Because if they're able to say, look, this is taking a lot of time, I could save this
Mm-hmm.
company that I'm working for a whole lot of money if I do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're able to change the way that they talk to one another, and all of this kind of stuff. They're able to go off and do all of this kind of thing. At some point, we're going to be required to have only chat bots. Companies are going to say, no, use the chat bot because we're not paying for humans to answer your
Mm-hmm.
phone calls unless we say we still want to talk to a human being.
Then and see, the thing is that in commerce, a company has all the right, like to do that.
Right.
But here, let's go back to a previous point that you made. I have a question for you. Who do you
Hmm.
think makes the majority of trades on the stock market, humans or computers?
I'm going to guess computers.
Okay, so the reality of it is that you've long already had computers that have been
Right.
executing high volume. Look it up, high volume trading, right? Using like
Well,
quantum
I
computing and
understand
stuff,
that
right?
part.
We're knocking off 4 million trades a second or more. Okay,
Right.
so it's you've got quantum computation largely steadying the markets by being able to pump out so many high volume trades at a frequency. And what humans can do is largely just kind of dip in and buy the dip, sell the profits on the runs, and if they're savvy enough. But underlying, you've long had computers running shit. Even your traffic lights. Let's think of something else that computers run that are just completely benign to your daily existence. Like I said, we
I
sometimes
know
we don't
once it.
really,
Trains,
yeah,
how the trains stop
train
and go.
all this
Well,
stuff.
yeah, but we can dial it back though. I'm saying is while we still have the opportunity to, we have like I'm talking about us understanding what has happened with computers, and if we weren't trying to automate every single thing and either line your pockets because you don't want to pay a human being to do it because a human being
Hmm.
could do it and then thereby
Hmm.
be contributing to society, I do feel like we're going too
Exactly.
far, too fast,
Okay,
is
but
what I
see
think.
what you're trying to do though.
Yeah.
You're trying
Okay,
to
go
pick
ahead,
and
company.
I was just gonna
I
say you're
speak
trying to
just a
pick and
little
choose your
bit.
tech. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Hold
ahead.
on, Mr. Research. I want to hear complex because I know, like, you know what I'm trying to do, but I want you to understand that yes, I know I'm doing that because that's the point. I want more human being and me. I want. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
know.
what I was
I
like. You're trying to pick
understand.
and choose your tech, and you
Yeah.
can. No, you can.
So I know. I get it. I understand everything you're saying, complex.
Hmm.
I do. I do hear you. I want you to know you are heard. Go ahead, Mr. Research.
All right. So I'm going to talk about the topic, not the messenger. The topic, not the messenger. I sat up here and listened this whole time because I want to be part of the discussion. I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted to hear. So here's what was not said, or here's what was said, but I don't think you heard it, Topaz. The topic turned into let the lazy people get faster to catch up with you regular warriors. Let the lazy people use this instrument, this tool that we have improved upon, so that we can be just as good as that person who does it quickly. What you heard was, hey, look, we've always had it, but have we really? Tech people get really confused on what is engineering, what is robotic, and what is tech. Tech people have come to the terminology, let's win the argument. Let's tell Topaz all of it's tech, when in actuality is.
I get the fact that all of it's tech. That's not what my concern is. My thing is I want us as people to use it effectively and not like I don't want us to be overly reliant on it.
I was gonna or let's not be overly dramatic either. I mean, I'm see, my thing is I'm pragmatic about it. You know, I'm pragmatic about it. And I literally kind of, me and my partner have a tech startup company, and we know what our intentions are, and we know what's gone into it. So it's really hard
to make
to sort of take that position on it when you're hands on it. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on mute and I'm gonna let y'all talk about this, but I want y'all both to keep in mind, right, that what we're talking about here today is this AI robot and what we as Black people need to do about it, or think about it, or feel about it. Your opinions, how you feel, and your support for your part of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, guys. I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Let y'all rock out.
I'm gonna say this last thing because my connection keeps going in and out. As it relates to the robot, here's what's going to happen. The lazy people are going to win. The robot is going to make more people homeless, make more people destitute. And at some point in time, the lazy people will get old, just like in the movie.
Okay, his connection is spotty because he's traveling, I think.
Okay.
So what? Okay, here he's back.
Now let Rob. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead, Robbie.
But we ain't gonna act like everybody don't got no Roomba. We ain't gonna act like people don't have, automatic coffee.
It's like, oh my God.
We ain't gonna act like this is not going on. The lazy
automatic garage door opener.
Right. You got a automatic start to your dang on car. Like, I mean, it's about
it is everywhere.
It's about convenience.
But
that's why I'm like, man, do you realize how pervasive? Okay, there it is.
Automatic start to your car is engineering. That's not tech.
Okay.
No, it is tech, and I know. It's technology.
If it's like remote, especially if you could do it from your phone with NFC, it's tech, bro.
Yeah, it's tech. Like BMW has a whole app. BMW has a whole app where you can start your car, you can turn your car off, you can unlock your car. When people have been buying this tech for their cars forever. If you have OnStar, you have tech. Yep. If you have Siri, you have tech in your car.
Mm-hmm. When some cars are having Wi-Fi now, where they have their own Wi-Fi signal in the car, so people can connect to it if they're riding with you.
Yeah, it's a moving hotspot.
Yeah,
like people really have no idea about the tech. Like when you have a hybrid car, that's tech. It takes technology to make your engine convert from using just fuel to using the electrical component. Motor. We're not going to act like when you have something go wrong in your car, the most expensive item to fix is not the technology package that is assessed to your car's computer. Tech is a part of our lives. And yes, I do have my own personal reservations about some aspects of artificial technology, but that's because I'm looking at it at a global level, at a total scale. Like, I get what you're saying, Topaz, and there does need to be some limits. Unfortunately, the language that it takes to program technology to do some of these things that we like and enjoy, it requires an infinite loop, which means there is no limitations that you can put on these robots.
And that's my problem.
Well, I prefer to be more proactive than reactive, right? So
Complex, I think you hit mute. And actually, that's what I want. I want to know that there is a proactive thought to prevent, going too far to the other end of the spectrum from no technology to too much technology.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. I think you had hit mute.
Okay, no, I stepped out. I think I stepped outside, and I think I might have dropped off Wi-Fi for a sec. So that's the whole purpose of, say, like the Brain Trust, our channel, right? That's why we held all the IT certification summits, had all the deep dives into AI and these blockchain technologies and all this, because it's comprised of a lot of individuals who have intimate knowledge in all of this, okay, and work in it. I work in the IoT and micro transport sector, and we have a startup in it, so I can speak to it. I can speak I can speak about what the other people in the same industry are and what they're doing. I know what our intentions are for it, right? So that has a lot to do with how it's rolled out, how it's marketed, how it's branded, how people receive it. Traditional marketing rules still apply even in tech. That's why they have sales divisions. You know what I mean? So even in this environment, these things aren't immune to basic business law, for example, right? And basic business rules and stuff. However, it is more about where we're going. And okay, now would be as good a time as any to pivot in terms of like from a cultural position. Okay, I mean, you can continue to go down, but even government has pegged Black Americans as a permanent underclass by 2053. Okay, so we postulated ways we could turn that around, and that would essentially start with the current generation that we have, that's 10 and under. So that you take the kids that are 10 all the way back to infant, and any future kids that are born from that point going forward. And guess what? They all become STEM masters. And guess what happens when you project out 20, 25 years? Guess what they're hitting? They're hitting the job markets. This is your first round. This is going to be your first wholesale generational group of STEM-based Black people. You can start with the kids right now, okay? And we've modeled this shit out. So we're like, okay, well, if we project it out by 2053, well, we'd actually have like, the first, batch of like legit startups that are Black ran. And, if some of, the brothers like ourselves are positioning ourselves in such a way where we can pivot to get behind them when they hit that point, then we could do some damage. And that's where my head is at. I hate hearing this fear shit. I can't stand it. It like literally makes my fucking skin crawl.
Well, and I can see why, because you have the plan for how we can utilize this and master it. And I like that plan. I do just have some questions. So, it sounds like you guys are able to answer the questions.
Well, I mean, it's frustrating.
I appreciate that.
No, it's what it is though. It's like it's still a battle, because see, you could put solutions in front of Black folks and they'll just throw it right back at you, right? but then they'll continue to complain and shit. You see? So this is why it's kind of like at a certain point, you know, it's sort of like you shut, you know, I get how what Mr. Research was saying, but shit, what you want me to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? I got my
It's
own shit
already
to handle.
happening, so we might as well get into it and
Like I
understand
said,
it.
what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, bitch about it?
Especially when, you know, technology has definitely impacted African American communities. Look at Detroit. Detroit was Motor City until car production took precedence and it started switching over to more technologically advanced and calibrated factories, and it got shipped overseas. Like, if we're going to complain about technology, we should have already been complaining about it. So we can't get so caught up in, oh well, you know, we need to stop X, Y, and Z. We were asleep. We were asleep for like 4 decades while technology has become the boom.
Well,
I think we
Robbie, I'll
did
do you one
object, but it
better.
was just like, oh well. I don't think it was responded
Well,
too well. Go ahead, complete.
no, I was gonna say I'll do you one better. See, so when Uber and Lyft and all the ride hailing services launched, why did people need cars? Oh,
Well,
once
because you
again,
didn't
and we
want to
have
wait for a ride on Uber,
well,
lots of
it's just
stuff.
cheaper. It's cheaper, more convenient. There's a whole lot of reasons why somebody says, you know what, I don't need a car anymore. So if a whole bunch of people start saying, you know what, I don't need a car anymore, guess what happens to the automotive sector?
Yeah.
You stop selling cars. This is the reason why in 2018 Ford said, well, you know what, we're going to stop making sedans. Basically, we'll just make trucks, and we'll use the Ford Fusion. We'll turn that in just to a self-driving car, and then we'll take our car division, we're going to call that Ford Autonomous Vehicles. That's what their new car division is called. Okay, there's the trucks, and then there's Ford Autonomous Vehicles, and they're starting with like the Mustang E, the electric Mustang, and all that kind of stuff. A couple of years ago, Ford had already pivoted. GM doing the same thing. Yeah, they weren't selling no more. They weren't selling cars. Go drive down where your all your car dealerships are. Right. You tell me if there's just people just lined up to buy cars. Right. Go
I
ask them
haven't
how
seen it.
hard it
It's
is
so
to
much
sell a
that
brand new
they're
car.
giving them away. Like I've gotten so many just flyers. Like these cars,
Yeah.
they're getting cheaper. They're getting cheaper. They're getting cheaper. You
Listen.
can you can literally just pick one up. You could trip and fall into purchasing a car now.
Look.
It's way easier.
Post
Not to
COVID,
mention
like if
Carvana.
look
Yeah.
Carvana, but look post COVID, you know what Jeep is doing? They ran these advertisements, and I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna go run to the store real quick. They ran these advertisements out here. This was during the Super Bowl, I think, right? And I couldn't believe this. So they were running this ad where you could go in and let's just say you get approved for a Jeep, right? And let's just say they say, okay, the down payment is $3,000, right? And they go, but you know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll just take the $3,000 and we'll make it a balloon payment at the end of your payment. And then what we'll do is we'll give you 90 days before you make your first payment. All you had to do is get approved, and you didn't have to give them any money for 90 days. And then the first, you just give them a regular payment, the first payment. They were like, just give us the down payment at the end. Anything to take these cars off the lot, please take it.
And then meanwhile, you're paying it back while they're on to building whatever's going to replace the cars. As long as you come move it so that they can do what they need to do.
Well, at this point, there's a glut. It's this is why they're getting rid of their car manufacturing and they're pivoting the factories to start producing electric, because what are they going to do with this stuff? That's why you can get it for that type of price.
And Gabe says, I think there does need to be an elderly consideration when it comes to technology. Technology shouldn't make basic functions like banking inaccessible. Okay, but here's the thing. They're going to be waiting until that generation dies off. And then after that, everybody else is expected to know how to do mobile banking and everything. Like I think they're waiting it out.
Right,
Because once everybody that's born has been in a generation where they've had access to electronics, there's no need to still keep the old stuff that nobody requires anymore. They can now literally, morally, legally require you to be abreast in technology. Like, I think this is the last generation. No, I think that we're 2 generations in from where they've lived with technology their entire life. So once they become the elder group, everybody after that is expected to know a whole lot more. They
Yeah, I
don't
want to say
have to. It's not reasonable. It's not a reasonable accommodation anymore. Go ahead, complete.
No, I was just gonna say I think millennials maybe are probably like the last generation that are well, some of them pre-internet,
Right,
right? Like we were, Gen X, we were pre-internet, right?
right.
I started using the internet in '88, but I was born in '77, so I remember what
Yeah,
it was like to use a rotary phone and all that crap, right?
yeah.
But then you have that,
Typewriters, all
yeah,
of
but
that.
then you have that group that literally came up and like shit. My daughter, for example, this is all they know.
Yeah, there were 2-year-olds that knew how to, do things on the tablet.
Right. Like for
You
me,
got kids that are 11 months old. They can ride a hoverboard.
Hmm.
right.
Before they
Like
can
so
truly walk. Go ahead, Robbie.
yeah, like so for me, when I grew up, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 80. I'm legit. That's my generation, honey. But we were forced to do computers in school. We learned on the Commodore 64. We had that AOL dial-up, honey. We had the rotary phones. Like we were the generation that was the gap between the old and the new. But in my lifetime, the advances that I've seen technology make is stunning. My 4 year
Hmm.
old will not talk. He won't say a word to you, but best believe he knows how to use the phone, the tablet, like any electronic device better than me almost. And I'm pretty
Yeah,
nice with my stuff. But these little kids, they're coming out. And we, again, this goes back to society because we as the people constantly have our cell phone in our hands. So our children are watching us doing that. So that speaks to the topic that you made about future generations. Like our children are watching us do mobile banking and depositing. And if you are in an older generation and you're having problems figuring out technology, then book a class. Matter of fact, you can email me, thebutterflyprogressive@gmail.com. I do give classes to help the, older generation figure out basic functions of technology. But it's not even like it's that hard. It's something that's so new that you have to want to learn it.
right.
You do? What do you do?
I give people classes on like the older generation classes on how to use basic functions of technology. I also do, I do a little bit of everything. I keep my hands busy, but I keep
Yes,
my
you
hands
do.
Well,
busy.
no, I would love to share your channel on the Brain Trust, like on the community tab. That's dope.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I've been talking about AI for a while, and they also have been getting us comfortable with artificial technology, like I said before, through movies. Through
Hmm.
movies, through media, they have put these concepts in your mind so that you can latch on when it really happens. Like pre-crime technology is probably actually going to be something that we see in our lifetimes.
Yeah,
Self-driving cars, we already
Minority
have.
Report.
Yeah, hovering cars, we're going to have those too before some of us die. Like it just is what it is.
Okay, Uber pre-COVID, Uber was supposed to. They had gotten the license in LA to roll out their flying car service. Okay, this was pre-COVID.
You
So in
see?
2020, they were about to start testing it, and then COVID happened.
And also
Right, but
Amazon, right?
And
yeah,
Google
Amazon,
too.
yeah, drone delivery. Um, and then Robbie, there was something else you had mentioned, which you were just saying there. There was something else I wanted to touch on.
The
Uh,
movies telling us about the pre-crime and stuff.
but there was something, or a point right before that about that. It was something you
They've
said
been
right
getting
before
us
that.
comfortable.
Oh no, okay, okay, that's what it is. Okay, I would say that there's a movie called Robot and Frank. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No, I haven't
Robot
saw
and
Uh,
what?
that one.
I think it's called Robot and Frank or Frank and Robot. I think it's Frank and Robot.
Okay.
You look that movie up. Okay, so I would say that movie is probably the best depiction of what the near future looks like. Okay, because it takes place in maybe like 2032 or something like that. So everything looks very realistic, like kind of how it looks now. But you just see now AI more embedded in society, right? So it's a very realistic look at what robots just roaming around on the streets and everything looks like, because people are still driving Audis and shit, right? Um, but I don't want to give a spoiler away, but basically it just has to do with an old senile dude and a robot that basically serves as its aid.
Yeah, I'm looking it up
But
right now.
you,
It seems interesting. I'm gonna watch it because look, okay, so not
you
not
gotta
giving
do
away
it. It's a
spoilers.
trippy movie. It's
He used to
trippy.
do
It's trippy. That's why I
crimes,
don't want to give
and
away
so he
spoilers.
got old, and then he got the robot,
Yeah.
and then he trained the robot to do
And
crimes.
then he basically tricked the robot into doing crimes, basically, right? See, so that's why I wanted to mention that movie, because see, everybody has a fear that robots
Yeah.
are gonna outthink the humans. But see, this dude convinced the robot to commit crimes with him. So I'm just
Who's to
saying,
say the robot wasn't cool with committing the crimes? I mean,
no, you go, oh, no, that right there, you gotta watch the movie. Okay, you gotta watch it.
Okay, okay,
You
It
gotta
goes
watch
cool.
against the
I'm
laws
gonna
of
watch.
it goes against the laws of robotics. So I'm definitely gonna watch
Yeah,
that
yeah, that's what I'm
movie.
saying. Like people think I don't. I think a little bit different about it, man. Like humans, look, we've been here. I don't think we're gonna be going anywhere ultimately. So humans are always gonna be crafty and adapt. Not all humans have adapted throughout evolution, right? That's why you have groups of people that have ultimately gone extinct. So your impetus for survival is adaptability.
So you're saying it's
So
not
yeah.
like we don't have basically that worry is unfounded because the thing that does separate us will be the thing that saves us. Like we'll be able to adapt and outthink it because it is in fact still a machine.
Or well, think about it. If you're creating it, then you determine its output, and that's
Okay.
really
And
what
then
you want to be. You want to wield it.
Okay.
another movie that shows robotics and like shows human beings' ability to supersede or trick the robot is Big Hero 6. Like that's such a good movie. And it's a
Yeah, that's
kids
another one. The
movie.
cartoon. Yeah.
Yes, it's so good. And it talks about like the law of robotics. And this is one thing that a lot of people are not aware of. As a parent, I stay monitoring what my children watch. A lot of these children's cartoons they're introducing the ideas to our youngsters from very, very early on about robotics, about genetic modification. Spies in Disguise is a movie that talks about CRISPR and like why are they listen honey, it's a lot, but they just to prove complex designs point that they're kind of letting you know what's coming, and it's already heavily saturated in our markets. Even the toys that your kids like not just the hoverboard, but these little blow up toys and these little dolls, they're all based on technology. You need to have interaction with your computer. You need to scan a QRS code in order to access and
QR. Yep.
unlock certain content. Like y'all are
Yep.
already all in.
You're already doing it.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
I
I'm gonna
just,
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna listen in. I'm gonna mute though, because I'm gonna
okay.
take a little scooter ride. But I'm gonna mute. I'll just be listening in.
Okay. Thanks for coming up and explaining complex.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so let's go to the other news story, right? So apparently vaccines for COVID are now on the black market.
Let me fall out in my seat. Girl, they'll put anything on the black market,
Look,
honey.
here's my issue with this, right? So now if there's black market vaccines, oh, and the other thing that's wrong with it, right? So first of all, the vaccine doses are coming out of somewhere. They fell off the back of a truck, right? And how do we know that everybody that shows up with a vaccine card? Because see, the dose is $1,000. The vaccine card to say that you got vaccinated is $200. They're allowing people to buy just the card as well.
Give me that website. Let me just buy the card because I ain't taking it.
And here's the thing. So now, okay, so if COVID is real, like say, let's suppose that you one agree that COVID is real, two, you believe that the vaccine will be helpful for us, right? With people getting faked ID cards, that means you're gonna be around somebody you think is vaccinated but isn't. and you could still get sick, and then that's going to drive up the statistics on whether or not the vaccines are actually helpful. It's just going to create a lot of chaos. I'm trying to figure out, why is it that these people weren't watching these vaccine doses more closely? Why is this even possible? How is this
Population
happening?
control.
Yeah, I'm believing that they're okay with those doses getting out there, or either who figured out how to make these cards such that they can be forged now. All of this, we're not going to have the right information about what's going on. They're polluting the information that's being put out.
They've already been polluting the information that's being put out. And people are going to buy these cars now because they now have a vaccine passport on the table. I believe it's being released in New York relatively soon. So people
China
don't
already has
care.
theirs.
See,
China already
yeah,
has theirs.
because that came up too. That came
Yep.
up that they're
Yeah.
doing a whole lot extra than we are.
Well, let's do this also, right? I was actually talking to my stepmom about this, man, about the
Mhm.
politicization of vaccinations, right? Because now what you're starting to find here is that you have companies that are making vaccines, right? Let's just say one health organization in one country says, yeah, we'll okay this. But let's just say there's another country that says, well, we don't recognize that vaccine, right? So
Mhm.
they're right, because this is an industrial thing, right? This is a pharmaceutical industrial war that's being waged also, because now this is being publicized to the point where you have countries that are basically saying, hey, well, we're not going to recognize that vaccine. See, so, any travel, any this, any that, we're not going to permit it. Right. So now you got people that are taking stuff, and they're taking it on the auspices that's they'll be fine after they take it, and they can just pretty much go wherever they want, only to find that they may have taken a vaccine that hasn't been approved by let's just say you're doing a flyover. You got to stop in one country to get to the other. Well, the country that you have to stop into says, well, we don't know what that vaccine is.
Yeah,
So
but they're
there's that
putting
part
on
to it.
there the names of the reputable vaccines, though. They're not. This is not a whole separate vaccine. They're getting the ones that everybody else have from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
But
It's not like they made up their own vaccine, and that they're just scamming people by selling it. No, they're getting the real vaccines from somewhere. Like
Oh no,
some
I was
hospital
just
is
talking
now
to.
down 2,000 doses that they were given 18,000 doses. Now they have 16,000. They don't know where 2,000 doses went. Those
Oh,
doses went to the black market, and now so they're getting the reputable, acceptable vaccines.
no,
but
I
they
was
always
speaking to
have
the
a version.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just
Go
speaking to the
ahead.
politicization of it. But no, what you're
Yeah,
talking about, yeah, all those news stories that you hear of vaccines, just oh, we had to quote unquote throw them out.
yeah,
What? Them things were somebody stole that shit.
exactly. Yeah.
Right, but they always put a little bit on the black market. And my question would then be, those vaccines that are now being sold on the black market, are they placebo vaccines? Because they also put a
Ooh.
certain amount of placebo vaccines into the market with the real vaccines as well, so that people can have the experience to not have the adverse or the negative side effects, which is why I got out of the medical profession. Like, y'all are
Wait a
being
minute.
played with.
Yeah, so
Wait.
so that says
Placebos?
only 1% of people had these
Yes.
effects. But yeah, okay.
Yes, they do
Wait,
placebos.
placebos?
Yes, placebos. You have to understand. Okay, so this comes from my days in nursing. In certain clinics and facilities, based off of the insurance that you have, it determines what inoculations that you're going to receive. So if you are on a governmental, program, you may receive a poorer quality, or flat out a placebo. Also, if you are in a higher demographic and you're paying more money, you may also receive a placebo, which is why the adverse effects statistics based off of pharma data can be manipulated. If you give a certain amount of people a fake vaccine and you say that it's real and they have no adverse effects, then the amount of people that have adverse effects from your vaccine becomes minimized. So be very careful with what you're getting out there. This is why vaccine injuries cases are up as well, because people are getting hurt from the pure dosage of the vaccine when they have received the vaccine before that was a placebo or that was a highly weakened dosage. It's real out here in these streets, y'all.
Yeah.
What are you wait, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, Robbie has
What?
a medical background too. So, she's good on her channel at giving us information about what the medical field is doing.
Yeah, I do a little bit. I'm all right. I'll be chilling. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your knowledge base over here, Robbie. So yeah, like this is I'm not surprised because the
No,
medical field has
that's like
been doing
literally
things
the
like this.
first. That's the first time I've ever heard like, wow, like no, that fucked my head up. Like, yeah, I'm tripping. Like, damn, there's a plateau. That's an actual possibility that a lot of people could be taking placebos.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you
Wow.
got to understand. Okay, so
Money.
I'm just gonna give this little rant real quick, and then I'm gonna be off it because I get in
Go
my
ahead.
feelings about it. But Donald Trump was trying to get rid of Fauci, and he was trying to get rid of Bill Gates in the end of his presidency because they were trying to push this vaccination. We now know that Bill Gates owns, out of 477 acres, I believe 422 acres of farmland. He literally owns all the farmland in the country. And on my second page, I have a channel which talks about eugenics and the Gates family history with Margaret Sanger and how Planned Parenthood is also a part of that. On my Ruby Privilege channel, we talked about, Biden's vaccine committee and their recommendations for what is going on with this vaccine and how they're going to target the African American community. However, my issue is it's dealing with someone who has a history based in eugenics, which is to eliminate the world of African American people. So what are we really signing up for? Are we signing up for our own elimination? I'm not taking the vaccine. And there is nanochip technology. And for those of you that are so appalled about nanotech, there has been nanotechnology put in vaccinations for the past 2 decades. You are being
It's already happened.
No,
yes,
okay,
human beings are being turned into robots.
what is with I know with this, I think with one or a couple of these vaccines, I think there's a component in it called luminous something. Okay, and so basically,
You
if
talked
you
about that, didn't you, Robbie?
I believe so. I'm not.
yeah,
I don't
it's where
remember right now.
where basically if you hover an ultraviolet light over the site where the vaccine occurred, it'll give off your skin will give off a light, and that's what'll verify whether you've actually had this vaccine or not, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something to that whole bit
Like
that you're talking about.
aluminum.
That yeah, the something it is luma something. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really playing with the people, and they have chips in them too, which is why they've been pushing this issue about the RDIF chip and having this the newer vaccine, I mean not vaccines, identification by October 2021. And I told you guys about this as well. You have to get a upgraded driver's license that has all of your information embedded into it in order to be able to travel. If you guys are not aware, the fall of this year is going to change everything.
October 21st. It's October 21st.
Yes, October 21st of 2021. Your whole entire life is going to change. These vaccines are just another layer to the onion because you're going to also need to be able to prove you've had vaccination to travel.
Well, see, and here's my issue with the fact that it's now on the black market. That means, so let's just say that the doctors that were in charge of COVID response, right? Let's say that they had a point about the order in which they were rolling out the vaccines. If it's on the black market, none of that's going to be followed because now people can, buy their way to skip ahead. It's in some people that now needed the vaccine. So my question to you guys is, do y'all feel like they already added that possibility in? And so they knew that there was going to be some that were going to be stolen and put on the black market. And so that they have a plan that includes, mitigating the effects of that.
Of course they did. They planned it that way. Like how you said, these are okay. So what a lot of people don't understand is when we're transporting medical like organs and supplies of this nature, this is a federal vaccination. It was approved federally. That's why you can't sue if you have a vaccine injury from this particular vaccination. But there's regulations on it. It is highly guarded. So if anybody has these on the black market, I'm going to assume that it was given to them. You have to sign in and out for medications. And I can guarantee that these vaccinations require the highest level of documentation, especially because there's such a need for the people that are wanting to take the vaccine across the country. Joe Biden's plan is to have 300 million Americans vaccinated by his 100th day in office. Come on now. Any means necessary. That's the game they're playing.
So now my question is, do y'all think that this will be something that's worth it for the black culture to stand on and say, no, we're not doing it?
It's Robbie, you can go ahead. It's a little noisy. I'm almost at my pad, so I'm just listening right now. I'll be at the house in a second.
Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and tell people what they should or shouldn't do. But as for me and mine, we're not taking it. And I always advocate that people do their own research. They formulate their own opinions. My interpretation of data, my interpretation of what is going on will always be different from somebody else's. But for me, it's not worth the risk. I have seen disclaimer, I am not a doctor, okay? I'm just raw B. But from what I have seen from the adverse effects and the potential Bell's palsy, nervous system disorders, slacking of the facial muscles, lack of smell and taste, I am a bigger. I love me some good food. I need to smell the food that I am eating. I need to live my best life, honey. So no, I won't be taking it. But I will also say, I don't also believe in taking that HPV vaccine. I don't believe in any of the newer vaccines. For things like MMR, yeah, but no shit.
And polio and all of that, and chickenpox. Okay, so my thing is, I just don't like putting anything foreign into my body. Like, I will take an Advil PM at maximum. That's the best that I'm willing to do. Okay, all the rest of that, I rather just get through it naturally. Like, I rather find out what's causing the problem and then just fix that. Because I don't want to have, I see too many of my elders with too many, like 30 pills a day for all these different reasons. You know, I just don't want all of those things in my body. So I was already opposed to the vaccine in and of itself. The only vaccines my kids got were the mandatory ones to go to school. Other than that, they didn't get any extra shots and all of that. No, you know what? I take that back. My son had to go through allergy shots with the but I know what that is that they're putting in him, and I know why. It's because he needed to be able to walk outside the house and not be allergic to certain things. But even that, I hated every second of it. And the only reason why I'm okay with it now is because he is less allergic to things now. But other than that, no. And I had to go through that same treatment as a kid too. I had to do that with allergies. So that's the only reason why I was okay with that. But everything else, we not just gonna keep shooting my kids up with stuff. And I don't want all of the extra medications. I rather that if it was a caused by food, it was something that can be uncaused by food. Okay, so that's my view on that. So my point here, right? Like both of these news stories, I think that we need to use this and say what we feel like should happen. So Robbie, I know you don't want to tell other people what they should do, but in your best guesstimate with the information that you have available to us, which one do you think would be the helpful answer? I know you and your kids are not getting a vaccine. Me and my kids are not getting a vaccine. If you were in charge, what would you tell them? What do you think the best answer should be?
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife. Don't
Hide
do
your
it.
kids, hide your wife.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the point of these shows that I do here with Robbie. Is like, if we are in charge, what are we gonna advise? Because look, we got too many people saying, yeah, you're grown, you can make your own decision. But let's be real. In our culture, a lot of grown people aren't getting enough information to make their decision. They're just jumping to stuff. They're just picking one so that you can hear up and get out of their face and they can get back to partying. And I feel like, no, sit down, come in here, listen to this, make a educated guess. And if you can't, then that means you let me choose. If you're not going to be smart about your choices, then you don't get to have them anymore. You're not using them, anyway. And what you do does affect me. So certain things, yes. Yes, I do feel like if you can't make the right decision, I should be allowed to take over your decision. Think about this: if we're talking about the COVID vaccine, what about the chickenpox vaccine? Right? There's a lot of people who don't want to give their kids those vaccinations. They want their kids to just get it naturally and then have their immune system fight over it or whatever. But that's cool if you're doing that with your kid. But the minute you take your kid to a park and plays with mine, who's too young for the vaccination, and they get it too early, that is a problem.
Well, go ahead, Complex.
No, go ahead and finish your thought. I wanted to follow up on something about the COVID stuff.
Okay. With the chickenpox vaccination, I'm torn because there is such a thing as herd immunity. And if enough people have this vaccination, everyone shouldn't have to get it because the percentage of people that have it is fairly high. Also,
Right.
there's been so many mixed messages about the MMR vaccine and its attachment to autism. I have an autistic child, so I'm kind of like against that vaccine. As a matter of fact, right now he's supposed to take his second set of vaccines for all of the old goodies, diphtheria, MMR. And I'm like, or nah, like we're not doing it. And so what the doctors are doing now is they're trying to show the genetic, lineage of autism. I don't really think it's genetic. I don't think it's genetic at all. But, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of vaccines to any level, to any capacity. Topaz, I'm very much like you. I don't take medications. I have allergies and I will suffer through. I have to be in here damn near dying.
Yeah, now and I'll add Benadryl to that, right? So I'll take Advil PM or Benadryl, and even the Benadryl is like if I'm getting ready to go outside at that moment, I'm not just doing it. I was told at some point that you could do like a Benadryl every day, like preventative, but it's just I don't like swallowing pills. I don't like medicines. I don't like shots. I don't like things that are not food being in my body. Okay, so I'm against it if I can.
Right. But I want to hear what Complex has to say about that COVID.
Oh, look up Cannabis and COVID-19.
Huh. Yeah, because that's another thing that Complex talks about. Hold on one second.
Look that up. Hemp and cannabis and COVID-19, and check out what the research is saying.
Okay.
And then while you do that, I will.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, I'll show you what I've grown in the backyard.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So listen, medicinal cannabis may play a significant role during COVID-19. Early studies indicate that cannabis, may have potential in treating the symptoms of COVID-19. You know what? But how much stuff cannabis has the potential to treat a whole lot of stuff.
This is what
That's why they don't want you to buy it.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is what I want you guys to know. It's on the radar. They already know. The reality is one, it can treat the symptoms of it. But two, if you're a regular user, guess what it does? It reduces your chances of contracting it. Right? There's another study that pointed that one out too. So, I'm just, when we ask these questions, I'm like, let's think about why there's just still this whole fear of fully legalizing this stuff. Let's really think about it.
Right.
No,
look at all the people that are gonna lose out. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah.
Complex, you know what it is. If they legalize marijuana fully in these United States of America, who is going to suffer? The farm industry is going to suffer. The oil industry is going to suffer. The paper industry is going to suffer. The tea industry might even suffer because there's just so many ways that you can use one plant.
Well, you can see. Here's the thing, right? So hemp is been federally legal. Like that's one of the companies we have is it's hemp and CBD. Now that stuff's been federally legal since 2014, and then it was placed under the administration of the Department of Agriculture in 2017, which basically made it legal. So if you go to like the grocery store in California, there's going to be like a kiosk full of like hemp CBD stuff. Okay, so like it's
have that
full
here
on.
too. Like they're selling CBD stuff legally.
Yeah, because it falls under the THC threshold for cannabis,
Right.
right? So that so it puts it into the jurisdiction of the Department of Agriculture, and under the the Department of Agriculture, it's basically just a crop like anything else, right? I would say though that I'm suspecting there's other reasons why they don't want it federally legal, and I think it largely has a lot to do with the fact that once you have a federal mandate, you are going to remove a lot of like cartels that are basically running the state, so to speak. Okay, so I think that's kind of why there's kind of pushback, because you think about it, if the government is actually voting on like federally legalizing it, they have to vote internally, right? But there's always a fight to make it happen. But at the same time, states are doing it, right? So that would tell me that I think a lot of states are actually protecting their own assets, if you will, protecting their own interests. So I think that's why you don't see a federal legalization. But even if you don't have federal legalization, the states can still do it. You know what I mean? The states can still do it, and that's where we're just really like lagging. Canada's kicking our ass when it comes to cannabis.
Yeah,
this is
They're
thing.
the global leader.
Know.
Now that I didn't know. So Canadians very calm, probably due to all of the cannabis. They're more civilized. So wouldn't that disprove all of the stuff that people feel about cannabis at this point?
Oh,
Germany's been disproving that forever because it's legal in Germany, and people be chilling in Germany. They be minding their damn business. They go to their weed bar, they get them some weed tea, smoke them a weed cigarette, and have a weed snack, and they go home and relax. Like, my thing is, what are they doing to the weed now that it's legalized in America? I don't trust it.
What are they doing? Well, trust your local grower. This is what I always say. Trust your local grower. You buy from the dude growing around the corner or something.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Once they legalize it, they're not going to let you just have it.
No. So in California, for example, and I'm about to show you what I got growing in the backyard, because you have to legalize it to the extent where people could actually grow it for themselves. So even in Chicago, you can grow your own plants.
Let me see what you got, Complex.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me just go over here. Give me just a minute.
I'm nosy as hell. Yes, I am.
No, I'll show you what's up, man.
He does it on his channel.
I do. I have a grow log. I do a grow log, and then I'm supposed to do a cannabis live stream. I'll do it like later on this evening on the Brand Trust. That's every Sunday. I do those. But I do strain. I do strain reviews. So the reason why I'm lagging because I haven't went to go get some weed. So I need to find something to review. Once we do that, I'll schedule it. But you guys carry on. I'm just gonna snap a bowl real quick and I'll show you.
Okay. Well, yeah. Now here's the thing, right? So when I said that they're not gonna let you just have it, like right now, since it's legalized in so many smaller places, you're not a threat to them. Like they'll let you have it as long as you're not going to be a threat to their business and what they can get out of it. The other thing I wanted to bring up, right, was that the other industries that will be impacted by hemp being legalized and everything, they're not going to completely die out because people get to have the choice. What's going to happen is there are going to be some people that want to avoid him for their own personal reasons or whatever, right? So they're still going to have, people can choose. They now would just have to be competitive. Why should I buy your product over this one? So if they can't make it cheaper, if they can't make it more accessible, more convenient, then they're not going to lose. Then they deserve to lose their business. So now let's see what this is, the complex. So there's a whole room looks like equipment and stuff.
He's stunting for the gram, stunting for the
I know,
gram.
right? Is this the same house? How long Complex been walking?
Right. I'm about
Acreage,
that life.
right? And this is in California.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea what I'm looking at. So Complex, you have to explain it too.
Complex, you muted yourself.
Yeah, and unless Robbie, you know
My
what you're
bad.
looking.
I know that's a bud plant. It looks pretty and healthy.
Can you
I don't see the flowers.
yeah. Oh, she's gorgeous, man. This is actually so this cutting I got from a buddy of mine. He's a brother who grows. That's why I was like, just go to your local grower. So I traded him some super old seeds for this, and this thing is just beautiful. Can you share the screen, because I want people to try to maybe even see the color in the
Oh,
leaves.
let me see. I think
I'm gonna try to.
Oh, I can solo you out. Hold on.
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
was
it.
gonna
If you
say,
make it,
solo.
yeah, if you make the screen big, there we go.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's it right there. Because the weather just turned this weekend, like today is about 83 degrees right now. So it had been cold, so it was still kind of flowering, but it's going to revert and it's going to fully veg out. But I don't know. Let me see if I can catch this. You see, like the leaves are like purple, like around the
at the
edges. You can
edges.
see.
The edges, yeah.
Yeah. This. I don't know where this dude. He grew this out, and then he was like, man, I'm gonna grow this again. And then he gave it to me. He gave me this one, and it was about this big when I got it. And so that's how much it's grown.
Wow.
And I've had it, was it since mid-February is when I got it.
Right. See, there's a lot of science, botany that goes into this.
Yeah.
So you can't just, people aren't just going to be able to just do whatever they want to with this as a business. I want them to legalize it, because then people are going to be required to learn and understand what it is they're doing. They won't be able to just throw some seeds out and then give it to people to smoke it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you like this. And I mean, so if you rub the stalk right here, you'll get like all these essential oils on your finger, right? And if you smell it, you'll literally catch a buzz. That's how potent this plant is.
Now that's extra.
Nice.
That's potent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's her. That's my baby. So I'll be growing her until about.
Lush. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about weed per se, but in terms of plants,
no,
it's
she's
very
healthy.
green.
Yeah, very green,
deep.
very healthy. Yep. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Is that your favorite?
I'll show you. Huh? No, you know what? It's just that plant is just really healthy. It's looking really nice. But you know, peach trees, like these are all peaches that are starting to grow right here.
Nice. Complex is that dude. He say, mess with me and learn how to grow something. Like
look, and then look. Okay, so he's making his own fruit now. What about like spices and stuff?
You want spices? Yeah, here you go. Here's collard greens.
See, he got a little everything.
Yeah, here we go. Here's collard greens right here.
Oh, right? Greens.
Oh, cheers to you guys. Got a brewski. Yeah, collard greens. Nice. I gotta clean all of this out, but I got collard greens. That's another peach tree. These are peppers, grapes. That was a plum tree. We cut it down last year, but that was a plum tree.
Okay, so Complex, I'm gonna need some peaches and some plums and some collard greens, because that collard green looked nice. I'm just gonna say that.
And y'all gonna stop acting like California can't grow nothing, okay?
Right. Look
at all kind of shit. So this is right here. Oh wait, I don't know if you guys can see these feathers, but the hawk that lives in the tree next door killed a bird in my backyard here. See that?
So it's just an animal kingdom, just a whole nature thing.
I'm out in the country. I'm out in the California country. I'm not in the city. Yeah.
Oh Lord, it's a lot.
We can tell your lawn is nice and green and healthy.
Right?
This is gonna be corn, beans. Let me see. We're gonna do. I'm gonna plant next week. So this is all gonna be corn, beans.
So essentially,
tomatoes.
You don't need the grocery store anymore. Is what's happening back here.
I try to like not this basil. You want some? You said spices.
Yeah. So basil. What else you got back there?
Yeah. So wait, I got to replant. This is green basil. So I got to snip from this and cut new cuttings. That's green basil. This is purple basil. What else we got? Dude, my dad grew up on a farm, and I grew up growing shit. My dad's from Texas. He's from Texas. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's 75, man. My dad's old, man. So,
So what was first growing complex, the weed or the food?
Wait, say what?
Which did you grow first, the weed or the food?
Food. I was growing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's just it doesn't even matter. Like weed, vegetables, whatever. It's plants, they're organisms.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're living things. And if you treat them good, then they'll treat you good.
Right. Now see, and you know what? And that you're growing your own stuff, so therefore you know it's organic, you know what's in it. And like that to me is still the part of the personality of a person that's not taking this vaccine.
Right.
That's why I wanted to kind of do that.
Huh?
That's why I wanted to do that, because you had asked, like, well, what do we do, right? What can we do as individuals now? I sent you the article. Yeah, that article about the cannabis, right, and hemp, and what the studies are already suggesting about it. Okay, let's just add another layer to it. You had Evanston, the city of Evanston, Illinois, just awarded the black folks in Evanston reparations, and they're going to pay for it through marijuana tax in Illinois. Right. See, so I think there's a lot of cultural tie-ins, honestly, not only just from a social standpoint, but from a health standpoint, a medicinal, you know what I mean? I think there's a lot to it. And I think that what's happened here is that we got the shit beat out of us during the drug war. And there was a lot of propagandizing about a plant that this whole time has been serving man on this planet since we've been here.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So when we look at what we, so when we look at, how can you demonize it and they turn around and tell you that it's effective against COVID? Like, make it make sense, man.
Yeah, because they're talking about how since COVID attacks like the respiratory system, and if you're using weed, that's exactly where, what's going to be impacted. So CBD has anti-inflammatory properties that act as a vasorelaxant. It reduces pain and anxiety. So let me get to the part about THC. Oh, well, medicinal cannabis, is that mainly CBD?
No. Cannabis. So medicinal. So CBD and THC is present in both variances. Okay, think of cannabis. Okay, literally think of hemp and cannabis like oranges and lemons. They're both citrus fruits. They just have different characteristics, right? So hemp.
That's a
hemp
really
is
good
very,
analogy.
Right. Hemp is very low in THC, very high in CBD. Okay. Cannabis is kind of it's high in CBD, but has a lot of THC in it. Right. So even when I suggest to somebody like how to medicate with it, if you're not like a weed smoker, I'm always like, look, get you both, use the majority hemp and pinch a little bit of cannabis in it. Because you need the THC, and it's like mind body, right? THC is for the mind, CBD is for the body.
Right. As I go down in the article, now they're talking about THC. The reason why I was asking is because they initially started the article with only CBD, but then they're saying that they're already working on this, right? And so early evidence has tentatively indicated that CBD and THC may be beneficial in the treatment of patients whose body's inflammatory response has become pathogenic.
Bingo. Because there's a mental health aspect to like your physical healing, right? Like if you're like if mentally you're still kind of like in a state of anguish, it reflects on your body's ability to heal. Okay. So you kind of need both. You need to kind of treat the mind and the body. So you need both basically.
Right. Yeah. So while people want to legalize CBD because it doesn't give you the psychoactive properties, you need a little bit of that so that you feel like you don't have as much pain and anxiety and stuff. So there's a need for both.
Yep.
CBD
they're doing research on it. Go ahead.
CBD by itself for people that smoke weed can also make you feel like kind of sick. Like it can be like too much.
It okay because it's really heavy. That's what I'm saying. Hemp is heavy, and especially the stuff that they've been breeding lately. I mean, this stuff is like cutting because now what they've done is okay. So the actual THC compound. God, I wish engineering cannabis was around. The actual compound in cannabis that really does create the majority of the psychoactive effects is delta 9 THC, right? So that's the one that they've isolated in lab testing. If delta 9 THC is over 0.03, no go. Okay. However, there's also a delta 8. And so they've been breeding like the super high delta 8 strain of hemp, right? This shit is getting real close to like just some strong indica. Yeah, the CBD that's starting to hit the market is smoking real close to it. But it's heavy in CBD, you know. But nonetheless, I look at it as medicinal, right? It's medication. So if you roll something, like let's say you go work out and then you shower, and then after you shower you eat, and then take like 2-3 pulls and then put it out. You don't need to do the whole thing. You know, you don't need to really go hard. It's just medicate real quick and then let your body just feel it.
So can you smoke it before you eat? Because I mean, doesn't it increase appetite and then you feel like, you know, is that why you say after?
No, and the appetite thing comes from the strain. It's usually indicas that really like promote like stimulate appetite. Sativas, that's more of like your work weed, or that's more of like for your mental health stuff. Like whether you eat or not, I don't know. But I think that what they say is that when you eat and then you smoke, whichever the strain, like when you eat, like there's fats that you ingest. And so when you smoke, like it attaches to the fats that your body's digesting. So your body absorbs more of it. So you can get an effect on an empty stomach, you can, but typically when you smoke after you eat, you'll feel it more.
Exactly. See, I never knew that. Yeah. I'm still thinking about college, so I don't know.
It induces digestion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to piggyback on what Complex is saying, this is a website, and I put the link in the chat where you guys can buy heirloom vegetable buckets, and you'll get like 45,000 seeds for $130. And these are like non-hybrid, non-GMO, open pollinated vegetable seeds with 10-year shelf life. And you can grow asparagus, beets, rutabagas, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bush beans, cabbages, cantaloupes, all this good stuff, all the things that you really need to sustain your life. Like we in the United States, we rely heavily on meat, especially chicken wings. Like chicken wings is such a thing here, but you have to start to wonder, is the tech giving you genetically modified food? And if you're eating GMOs, you're going to die faster. We all need to take a break off the meat and focus in on vegetables and really get like healthy, because these next couple of decades are going to be based on how healthy you are, what you can withstand.
Hey, Robbie, I have a question. Can you explain what an heirloom, what an heirloom variety is?
Yeah, so like heirloom is more so directly from the original fruit plant, as opposed to like I saw somebody put in the chat, you can buy seeds for 25 and 99 cents a pack. Yeah, you can, but they're like manufactured heavily in a lab. They're not coming from an actual piece of fruit. So for you to get the beneficial properties like the nutrients and the vitamins in the particular thing that you're growing, you will not get them from those 25-cent, 99-cent pack of food. You have to spend money.
For the real seeds, because you only have to buy it once, because once you grow them and then you'll get the seeds from when you eat it.
Yeah,
exactly. These will produce seeds for you to continue your garden for the lifetime of your fruit. A lot of these seeds that you buy that are non-heirloom seeds will provide you with the fruit or the vegetable, but you will not be able to continue it on, not even from cuttings.
Right. They call it a terminator seed, but that was why I wanted you to actually explain what an heirloom seed is.
Yes. It's better to buy it. And for those of you that are confused about, or like you're not comfortable with the price, they do have a lot of payment options where you can use like Afterpay and stuff like that, where it breaks down this cost to like maybe $33 a week or something like it. And look at these packages. This is also how you can tell the quality of a seed. These are vacuum sealed.
Mm-hmm. And look like it's lined on the inside too, so there's not a whole lot of outside interference. Nothing gets through the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's not going to deteriorate by itself. This is why they're giving you a 10-year shelf life. These will be sustainable. And there's also water too. Like I'm also buying water right now. If you guys are not aware, for the past, like, I want to say 15 years, water has been growing as a commodity. There are several companies, including Stella Artois, a beer company, that is focusing their futures on water. Water is about to be a scarcity. And with all the chemtrails that they dump in the sky and the chemicals from the carbon footprint that we're all leaving in the pollination, this is why rainwater is illegal to contain, because it's full of contaminants.
Yeah. Yep. I was going to say Stella Artois is my favorite beer, by the way. Carry on.
I know. I like it. I like the apple version.
Yes.
Okay, so now the panel is closed. I want to end it on this note with you guys, right? If we have to, right, choose, what do y'all think is going to be the best? With this information that y'all have presented here today, I believe that we can take this information today and that we can achieve acculturation over assimilation. That's going to be my goal. That's what I vote for. I think it's possible. I think that it's necessary, and it's going to end in something good for us.
You want
go ahead, Complex. No, go ahead, Complex. Go ahead.
Okay. I would say that's really the whole intention of our platform, Black Brain Trust. That was our whole point. That's the whole point of it. Why it exists. Is just that, because that's you basically, it's kind of like adapt or die, right? You kind of have like one or two options. There is no third and fourth and fifth option, and even like a time period where you can just kind of rest on your laurels, like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Things are quickly and rapidly evolving. You know what I mean? So I pretty much have kind of committed to adapting to it, and not only doing that, but shoot, I figure, man, if we pull this thing off with the micro stuff, and that's just kind of one of the things we're doing, but there's a lot of people that could benefit. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's like, it may just be I don't know, a few people perhaps. I mean, it's always a few, right? And that can help the many in a constructive way, right? So I'm always just sort of looking at like the upside of it. So that's pretty much all I got. But I appreciate you ladies for having me up.
Okay, thanks for coming up, Complex.
I enjoyed talking with you today.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'll schedule the Cannabis one for like in 2 hours, like 5 o'clock.
Okay,
so
I will
come on by the Brain
Trust.
Yeah, come on over to the Brain Trust, and we're gonna talk some weed and listen to some reggae.
Okay. Right, that sounds about right on a Sunday.
More fire. Where do you
Right.
All right, y'all.
All right. Bye. So, Rob B, I gave my take on it. So what do you think? That is it attainable? Like, can we even reach acculturation, or is it too late? And if we do reach it, do you feel like we can keep it going?
It ain't never too late. It's never too late. It's, I'm so excited about the awakening in society and in the culture, because that's what I've basically been trying to teach this whole time. Like, you don't have to think that knowledge of a topic is based off of the color of your skin. The color of your skin is the least common denominator, and it's the least important in any topic. When it comes to this, agricultural thing, we started the agricultural nation in the United States of America. And we have been the only group that has been pushed out of it because we get so caught up on the material. It's nothing wrong with being able to have a tangible skill like gardening, like growing food for your family. I'm also very intrigued by hydroponics and aquaponics. We have to be able to sustain some of our own food production and development. If we can't do that, then we will have no choice but to assimilate, because our very existence will rely upon the dominant society.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's the whole point. Is like, I think that today we presented information that says that we can do it, and it's too many people that I hear, that I talk to, that feel like, they gave up. It's too late. That's a quitting spirit. That's a quitting attitude, if you ask me.
Yes, it definitely is, even down to the technology. We are behind as a people. We're behind in so many fields. We need to start waking up and getting on top of this technology game. And I
Mm-hmm.
challenge people that are, of color, that are on this platform. This platform is more than the ability to press a live button through StreamYards or through the actual platform interface. Utilize this opportunity to learn as much technology as you can. Learn some coding. There's always going to be jobs available in coding, in programming, in web design, in editing, in
Mm-hmm.
all of these things that are components of what we do on social media. We have to stop being lazy. We have to stop taking the easiest routes. We have to stop relying heavily on these applications and actually learn the science behind it. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
all the tech nerds. I appreciate you.
Right. Absolutely. This platform is tech nerd friendly. Okay. I want this platform, my channel, to be a place where everybody can come and everybody can talk to one another. I want this to be the place where they can get together and they are not arguing, not fighting, because I'm gonna let them rock out for a little bit, but then I'm gonna intervene, because I want there to be at least some compromise that you guys can reach if you're in the chat or on the panel here. And the reason is because both sides have good information. So yeah, tech nerds, y'all, I love all of it. I want to know more of it. I'm gonna be asking questions, okay? Because hey, I feel like it's fun to know new stuff. So why not?
Exactly. And we also have to stop like vilifying people in our community that are educated. Yeah, I'm a black woman that happens to know a little bit about a couple different topics. That doesn't mean that I'm white or I'm not black or whatever. Like, black people are
Right.
allowed to be educated and hood. I have a tendency to call them clatchet. You can be a little clatchet, a little classy, a little ratchet, a little educated. Do your
Yeah, no,
thing.
I'm glad you said that, because that pretty much is me. I do a little something, I could be on both sides if need be.
Exactly. And that's what we need more acceptance of. We need acceptance of our black people that are fluid across multiple genres and platforms of information.
Right.
Because if
And it's
we allow
necessary. I want people to see it as necessary. Like, this is a good thing to be able to do both. Like, first of all, we are not a culture that is incapable of learning. We just are no longer interested in it. And that was something that had to be done to us. And we have to recognize the benefit of overcoming that and no longer believing and living our lives by that. And it's so engrossed in our culture right now to where education is a bad thing. Like, it's seen as you are only educated because you couldn't have a social life. Why are we not? This platform to me is going to stress the benefit of being able to do both, of being an adult that can discern and have balance, so that you can be educated and you can learn and you can take a break from the partying when need be. And then before you get back to partying, your business is taken care of. And then you also can, enjoy having some fun and being lighthearted from time to time. It's going to need both. That's well rounded.
exactly, because I could sit here, let me tell you something. I just gave y'all a whole bunch of information. But once I turn off this computer, honey, I might be at my house twerking while I'm finishing up my Sunday dinner, playing with my children. Baby, that is life. Like, it can't be all or nothing. And that's a lesson I had to learn growing up, because at one point in my life, I was very black and white. It was either one thing or the other. But life
Mm-hmm.
is it's a blending. It's living in that gray area.
Right. Right. And mastering the ability to know which direction to go in and for what reason.
Oh, girl, but that's on some DBT therapy model, honey. A lot of people need that in these
Yes, and I
spaces.
do that a lot. I do. I'm glad you said that because that is exactly right what I do for a living.
Girl, yes, I'm with all of the shits, and I feel like a lot of more Black people need to be with all of the stuff. At the end of the day, we live in a world that is so beautiful because there is so many differences, so many things to explore and know. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is people spend thousands of dollars for these cell phones and they only use it for Facebook. Like, you have a whole computer in your hand. Y'all better start hitting up Google, looking at some links, exploring them further.
Exactly.
You better start hanging out with some people that got more money than you, some people that got less money than you, some people that are on the same path as you, some people that are not, so that you can constantly challenge yourself.
Now, do you see Q497 down here? Like, he has been going in on this blue dress of yours. Okay, he is enjoying it. He has been having way too much fun thinking about what's happening in his dress. So I don't know if you saw his comment.
Yes, I saw all the comments, and I've been over
But
here
yeah, he got you
cracking
pinching
up.
people. He got you in charge, reprimanding individuals, and then now you blowing his mind with the fact of twerking in it. He like, no, wait, what is that? You know, like stop, you messing up the fantasy. So he wants you to be he wants you to be pious. All right, Robbie, that does something for him.
Listen,
I don't know what he's getting, but he's enjoying the pious over, on screen.
I'm gonna tell y'all this: every sinner is a saint, and every saint is a sinner. I am pious every day because I choose to be, but honey, I wasn't always. They'll get twisted.
Wake up and choose God instead of waking up choosing violence.
Yes.
See, so and then see that's another thing. Stop being so black and white, cute. Stop being so black and white, cute. Because look, people need to be able to do both. All right, you need to do both. If you a family woman, you do need to know how to twerk because he gonna be watching other people to do it. So have all that in house, all in the same place. He ain't got to go out to do
That's
extra
right.
stuff.
Oh, we should do
Okay,
that the next time we get together, balancing and
right.
maintaining a household and a marriage, honey. Because listen, my
You
husband
know
don't got
what?
to
And
go.
that could be our next topic. Okay, so on our next State of the Black Community, that's what we're gonna talk about. Maintaining them both in a household and what that does for your family. I mean, at this point, it's a duty. So I mean, we almost have to know how to twerk in order to be able to say you did everything to keep your family together.
Listen, I'm not ever trying to be a Denia Jackson, honey. My husband don't got to go look for nothing nowhere. We could go to the pulpit Sunday morning and go wherever
Exactly.
we need to go Sunday night. You understand?
Exactly, because you have to. Otherwise, like that's the point of being married is so that you don't have to have anything withheld from that person. Like they're secure where if you do, it's not, you're not killing them, but you don't have to. You're allowed to be you, be free. That's what I think. Now, being you shouldn't be something that's damaging to the family. But we'll do a whole stream with that next time. That's what we'll end up put into our stream. Look, Mario, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Twerking,
Use it for
twerking,
good. Use it
baby.
for good and not evil. Like we talked about today, everything has a way you can use it for good and there's a way you can use it for evil. You using it to lure somebody's husband out of their home, that's evil. You doing it to keep yours inside, that's good. Okay? Now this stream has gone right. It's gone right. It's gone all the way right, Q94. Come on now. Stop acting like
And
that.
listen, I have, what I have decided for this year is I'm gonna let y'all see more of my personality because I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm just out here just like lecturing people and just giving people the information. Like, yeah, I have information, but I have a personality too. Like, ain't nobody just
See,
boring.
for
Like,
you, that was a conscious choice. For me, it just started coming out more. Like I didn't really have a say so in it. I was like, you know what, whatever. Whatever I'm saying and doing right now, it is. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just not gonna keep it because I was gonna try to be more luxury and keep my personality to myself, but it's been coming out and it's been hard to fight. So, oh well, here we are.
No, it's hard for me because I don't really like to let my walls down, especially on social media. But I was like, well, y'all already, if you rock with me, you rock with me. So you might as well see. I'm a whole barrel of silly and about having some fun. Like life is too short to not have fun. And if you serious every day,
Exactly.
you're gonna miss it.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Queen of the South, that'll be more of a topic for next week because, she might need to click on the live stream. I don't know. We probably gonna give her some good information.
Look, I done told her what to do already. She better utilize this situation to her full benefit and put all her money in her children's name and create an exit strategy.
Yep.
Exit, stage left even. Okay.
Right. Yeah, because at this point, but you know what? Part of me feel like she's like, I wanted her to leave on her own, not because it's out in the public now. Too many women stay with men as long as nobody knows. But even if nobody else don't know what all he did to you, you know what he did. And if
But
it's
girl,
yeah,
that's that high value stuff though. That's that
see.
toxicity of the high value man. But I don't want to read down right now. It's Sunday. I'm trying to be good.
Well, it's gonna be Sunday when we bring it up next time, so they're gonna be all right. What's today? The 28th. So that's gonna be what the fourth is the 11th.
Okay.
So April
Let's put that in my
11th when
calendar.
y'all come in here. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get it together. Now, there's a lot of because Queen of the South has been asking for my opinion about Derek Jackson's wife, and I've been trying not to because I mean, to be honest with you, it's gonna sound bad, okay? Charge my mouth, not my heart. I don't really care. I feel like that grown woman know whether she gonna stay or not. I feel like that grown woman had made a choice a long time ago that she gonna stay through all of this. And now that it was fine when nobody knew, but she was posting all of that on her page about what husbands should do. Here's the thing: I don't believe you need to post that on social media. If he not doing what a husband's supposed to do, why you not packing up? Why you not suggesting couples counseling? Like you got work to do. You posting on social media isn't gonna get any changes.
Listen. I feel like they got a book deal coming out with TD Jakes. I feel like they
Mm-hmm.
playing with God. I feel like they trying to continue the Derek Jackson legacy. This is just a blemish in his path, according to them. I don't know. What I do know is I feel bad for her because she got little kids. So no matter what, she got to make moves for her kids. So fine, stay there. Make the moves you need to make. Just make sure your bank account is right. That
Well,
part.
and I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for the kids because the kids aren't crazy. They know whether it's a happy home or not, regardless of what we knew. If she didn't like it, she was sad, and the kids can pick up on that. They don't want their mother to suffer. Okay, they have feelings, they have emotions, they're watching all of this stuff, and there needs to be a good example for how to treat people as well as how to allow yourself to be treated. And if she's cool with, like, here's the thing: richer men, their wives know all of that stuff that they're doing, but they've already made their peace with it, so they're not walking around sad. They're not going around telling everybody that they talk to, oh, he's cheating on me. That probably never comes out of their mouth. They just living their life, going to the spa, enjoying the fruits of the labor of them staying. Now, she is obviously not built like that. So don't be married to
Um,
him.
First of all, I don't think she really knew. She was out here looking like a half a prostitute a couple weeks ago. And now she got on, you know what I'm saying, her bonnet, whatever, and her breastplate. That's not even how the whole armor of God works, Jesus. But I'm not judging her.
Right.
I'm trying not to judge because God said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." However, it just seemed real
Mm-hmm.
convenient. You upset? Just say it. I'm depressed. I'm upset. This nigga done broke my heart. He embarrassed me in front of the world. I don't feel like putting no clothes on, so I'm wearing my bonnet and my sweatpants. Just say that. Be authentic in your pain, because then people can identify with that. Like trying to shame people and say, well, this is what you have to do. No, that's not what you have to do. That's what you choose to do. That's why a whole bunch of
Exactly.
people are getting divorces as we speak.
Exactly. Either way, if you stay or go, it is a choice, and you the only person that got to live with it. Like you can do all of the crying for help posts that you want to, but nobody's gonna come over there and forcibly pack you up.
And they shouldn't. She shouldn't be expecting that.
Look, I got my little black bonnet too, honey. My little leather black bonnet.
Yeah,
But
I got
I'm not.
mine in there too. And now I'm not wearing it on the live stream, because I am not that sad right now. Well, and you putting on yours right now to prove a point though. Like you didn't just pop up on the stream.
This is
But
the helmet of the battle armor of the
bundle of
Lord.
God.
Okay. Of the Lord.
Right? See, no, like I feel honestly, she is, we can't coddle her. I think if she doesn't realize that she's an adult, she needs to be brought into the realization that she's an adult, and you got to pick whether you're gonna stay or go.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Can we just be honest? Real
Go
quick?
ahead. Yeah.
Derrick Jackson, probably the finest piece of man she ever had. He probably got the biggest, little, whatever. He probably put it down on her in the bedroom. That's why he got 150 million side chicks.
Yeah. The mistresses say he is good. So, I mean,
So it's good to her. She used to getting that good D. She like, you know what? Like that song Jay Sean played the other day. I don't care about the mother girls, just be good to me. That's where she at with it. Like that, I would just wish she would say that. Like, this my husband. I don't care. I'm gonna keep giving him the goodies. Like, come on, this man almost had a whole baby outside your marriage. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of things I could tolerate in a marriage, but baby, miscarriages, abortions, pregnancies. No.
That's a whole lot of soul tying right there. That's a lot, creating life and then having it, not come into fruition and all that. That is a lot of connection with somebody outside of a marriage.
Right. So, and then people talk about something because he got money, he should be able to cheat. Well, if that's the case,
all money ain't good money.
Right, but then the broke dudes should be able to cheat too. Then she should be able to cheat too. Hell, how do we know that she ain't the person that started Derrick Jackson out here doing all of this? Because she could have did him 31 time and he could be punishing her forever. Y'all know, man, if they stay with you and you done did them dirty, they gonna make you feel it.
Yep. But then she's still staying for the punishment, because once he got back and got even, that should have been enough. Everything else is out of spite. So now you married to a man that you happen to know that is A, spiteful, and B, can be spiteful against you.
Listen.
Not good.
Like I said on the video that I did about this topic, people, cheaters be playing. They be playing with people that live in the same house as them, because everybody ain't here for it. That's why we got Snap. That's why we got Lifetime. Somebody will commit a crime of passion and put you in the garden underneath their roses. Y'all better stop playing with people, man.
Exactly. You push somebody to their limit, and it's, and you're doing this in front of millions of people or what have you. Honestly, I feel like at this point she might be staying just so that the other women can't get him outright. Like, if you're going to be with him, you have to know that you're crossing over me. And some women are cool with that, but it does deter a lot of women who wouldn't be. So I guess, it's less cheaters that he has available to him to utilize, but then it makes the ones that he can get the more ruthless ones.
This is the thing. And this is why, a man with a certain amount of income is unattractive to me. And women with a certain amount of income are unattractive as well, because there are people that will slice you and dice you to take your spot.
Yeah, I've said that before too. Men of a certain income bracket, I just don't want. I know it sounds counterproductive, but I just am not ready for my life to be a shell like that. That's what I imagine that it's like, keeping that money, being able to protect it from outsiders, and what all you have to do to amass that amount of money, and plus the emotion that you have to be able to keep that kind of money and not use it to do something to help somebody else. So I'm not blaming rich people. I'm just saying I would not be romantically involved with them. Other people can. They can do that. But, money doesn't make everything better. Sometimes, like, there's additional problems that comes along when you get a certain amount of money.
Right. Just like, I mean, all these celebrities, you got all these women throwing their box at them. You got women popping up in the hotel room. See, I will go to jail because it might be one of those days where I decided I wanted to pop up on my man. And I go in the hotel room and there's another chick there laying in this bed in a thong with some whatever sprinkles and glitter. No, we gonna have to box it out. What?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Wait a
And
minute. What Queen of the South said? She
the
said she
lady,
felt bad
the
she
wife,
wasn't a skirter.
she watched the videos of him, right? She knew. This is what I'm saying. She knew, and she was talking about the ladies, their skin tone, their body. Like, this is what she had a problem with, is the type of women that he was choosing and what they were doing for him. So, you know, this is what I'm saying. She's not, to be honest with you,
But this
I don't know.
this is the thing that I'm gonna tell all my ladies out here. Every one of you can squirt. It's not a
Now, Robbie,
mystical
we're gonna,
secret.
that is next stream.
Girl, yeah, let me not tell y'all too much, honey. Cause
Yeah, that is
ooh.
next stream. Hold on to that. All right.
Don't be a
Now,
prisoner to the eggplant. You can
right. So now that you know you can, tune in next time to find out how. No, I'm just
Child. Listen.
so
Oh, some women make me so mad because some women settle for NT thing. My dark skinned sisters, you are the flyest bitches on the planet. This colorism topic is stupid. There's nothing
yep.
better than me than a person with dark brown skin. If you get a scratch, you ain't gonna have no ugly scar, no nothing. Your skin is perfect in the sunlight. It's a wash. Like, all the colors look nice on you. Live your best life. People and men out there that be trying to make women feel the type of way because they got kinky hair and they got brown skin. Go drink a glass of bleach because your mama probably got dark skin and nappy hair. Women,
Damn.
y'all gotta start learning to love yourself, love the skin you in. God didn't make no mistakes and no accidents. Like, shit.
I was not expecting that, Robbie. That is not what I was expecting to be saying next. And then, of course, Q4 down there advertising and whatnot. He just can't stop himself on this good Sunday. Okay, now you need to go somewhere and finish praying Q4. All right, because something you're doing the most. But okay, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming in. I'm appreciating everybody that came up on the panel, all the participation in the chat. Shout out to Bap for the Cash App. Shout out to Robbie for sharing the stream. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the video after it's done. I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.